Carolina, who went in the locker room and changed pants. They got rid of the white garnet pants that are now in white. You saw the series record there. It's been dominated by the Clemson Tigers over the years. Clemson will receive. The Carolina Gamecocks will kick off. We've got a beautiful day for a football game here, Coach.
Well, we really have, Mike. And you talk about the pants. You know, Clemson has won 4 out of the last 5 games in those orange pants, and they won last week in it. So maybe they decided they'd go with the white pants and see if they can win with those.
All right. Somehow, I don't think it makes a difference.
You're exactly right.
Reed Morton is out to kick off for South Carolina. There you see the men standing back, Andre Williams and Andre Humphrey. Humphrey needs 21 yards to set a Clemson record for kickoff returns. There is Reed Morton, who will also handle the field goal duties for South Carolina. Marty Simpson has also been kicking off a lot this year, but it is Reed Morton who gets the call here to start this great rivalry in the Palmetto State. We're underway. It's going to be Humphrey at the 9. Andre Humphrey fighting for yardage across the 30. He's up to about the 34-yard line. That's where the Clemson Tigers will put it in play. Ben Washington in on the stop for South Carolina.
Well, Mike, he may have gotten close to his 21 yards right there.
Elon Green, the freshman from Yonkers, New York, in to lead the offense for the Clemson Tigers. It's an all-freshman backfield. Raymond Priester and Lamont Pegues. Priester the fullback. Pegues is the tailback. 2 wide receivers, top of your screen. That is Marcus Hinton in motion. And right away, Hank Campbell, the middle linebacker, comes up to stuff Lamont Pegues. Maybe a yard loss. Right now, let's take a look at our Burger King starting lineup. There you see the freshmen, Green, Priester, and Pegues. Hinton, Crooks, and Stephon Wynn will be the tight ends starting there today. They'll run 3 tight ends. A young offensive line that has really matured over the second half of this season. Second down, 10 yards to go. No gain on the play by Pegues. Green to throw on second down. Over the head of Hinton and almost picked off by Tony Watkins, the strong safety. Really the best player on this South Carolina defense, number 24.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Watkins leads the tackle for South Carolina and is always around that football.
It'll bring up 3rd and long, something that the Clemson offensive coaches did not want this offense to get into. And again, Pegues is stuffed right up the middle by David Turnipseed. And let's take a look at that staunch South Carolina defense. Those linemen, Rump, Turnipseed, are really strong. Stacey Evans, he is the man who rushes the passer, and he is tough. Brooks, Campbell, Smith, the linebackers. Tony Watkins is the leading tackler on this team, the strong safety. Nelson Welch now in punt formation. Darryl Nicklow is standing back at his own 29-yard line. Welch booms one. Nicklow with problems at the 15. He's tackled at the 13 by Anye McCrory. Great coverage by the Tigers.
Well, Andre does an excellent job of coming down, breaking down, getting under control. And of course, Nicklow dropped that football and was very lucky to get it back.
There you see the numbers on Steve Tannehill, the starting quarterback for the South Carolina Gamecocks. That was a 45-yard punt by Nelson Welch. Tannehill with 18 touchdown passes, needs 2 touchdown passes to tie Todd Ellis's single-season mark. Stanley Pritchett, Brandon Bennett in the backfield behind Steve Tannehill. 1st and 10, first offensive play from scrimmage. And this is Pritchett up the middle. Let's take a look after that 2-yard gain at the South Carolina offense. Tannehill, Brandon Bennett, who's led this team in rushing every year he's been at South Carolina. Toby Cates, he's a big play man at wide receiver. Frederick and Boomer Foster's the tight end. Up front, they're strong. Wheeler, Herring, Vincent Dinkins is really the stalwart on that offensive line at center. Pickup of 3, second down, 7 yards to go for the Gamecocks. Play action. Pass is complete up to the 24-yard line to Darryl Nicklow. Andre Humphrey on the coverage for the Tigers. And here is that Tiger defense, which has been outstanding all season. And of course, when you talk about Clemson defense, you talk about linebackers. Wardell Riles, Mike Barber, Tim Jones leading, and Brian Dawkins may be the strong man in the secondary for the Clemson Tigers. Dexter McLean also back there, number 9. On first down, Tannehill to throw again, and again it's Nicklow. Up across the 35 at the 37, McLeon was covering, but Tannehill starts out red hot, Bill, 2 for 2.
He certainly does. Steve is in the shotgun, but he sprints out on the corner. And watch him as he puts pressure on the corner and hits a little out pattern to Whitlow. The defensive back was right on top of him, Dexter McLean, and he was right there to make the stop.
Mark the ball at the 36-yard line, and Tannehill. Bennett and Pritchard alongside him in the backfield. Pritchard for very little gain.
Well, this has been an effective play for him. They run the drive.
Marvin Cross, the junior out of Durham, North Carolina, up to make the stop for the Tigers. A loss of a yard as you see Brad Scott, 11 years an assistant at Florida State. Now the head man at South Carolina, and had a great first season here. Really has folks excited about Gamecock football across the state. 2nd and 11. Tannehill again on play action. And again, it completes a pass. This time it's to Toby Cates, and he's into Clemson territory down to the 42-yard line.
Well, that was a sprint draw fake from Steve Tannehill to the fullback, Brandon Bennett. He pulls the ball down and then sees Toby Cates right over the middle. Excellent game. Toby Cates is a big play football player. They want to move him around today to try to get him open. They've got him on the inside right now, and you'll see him try to get matched up against some linebackers.
Gamecocks really have something going here early in the first quarter. Tannehill 3 for 3, 43 yards. A first down at the 42-yard line. Under center this time. He'll give to his tailback, Bennett. Bennett fighting for yardage down to about the 36. Mike Barber and Andre Carter making the stop for Clemson, but not before a sizable gain on first down, and both coaches feel that that's a key today.
Well, it definitely is. Brandon Bennett, as you mentioned, did an excellent job of keeping his feet moving, getting extra yardage. Of course, that moves those chains to make it 2nd and 5.
Oh, and you're a coach, you like 2nd and 5.
That's exactly right. You don't want 2nd and 10.
Down to the 37-yard line. Very quickly, South Carolina's at least getting into Reed Morton field goal range. The fake to Bennett. There's the rush. Warren Forney comes up, and Darnell Stevens makes the sack.
Well, the Clemson coaches have really been high on Darnell Stevens. Let's watch as Tannehill goes back, fakes to his tailback, and Stevens comes right off the block and puts good pressure on him, along with number 13, Wardell Roush.
His 6th sack of the season. Stevens, the senior from San Antonio, Texas, now puts South Carolina's offense in third down conversions on the season, 37%. Certainly Brad Scott would like that to be a little higher. Tannehill with plenty of time. It's going to be picked off by McLean. Dexter McLean was in perfect position to pick off that
play by Dexter McLean. What they did, Clemson put in their dime package. They put in 2 extra defensive backs, Mike. They're playing underneath coverage, man for man. Watch McLean underneath, goes up, and takes the ball.
Well, the turnover gives the ball to the Clemson offense. 9:43 left in the first quarter. We'll be back after this message from Park West Auto Parts. Mike Hogwood and Bill Dooley back with this great rivalry in the Palmetto State. Clemson and South Carolina. Dexter McLean has just come up with his 4th interception of the season, and it has given Clemson the football at the 20-yard line. Or 15, rather. That's Pegues up across the 15 to the 17. Hank Campbell, middle linebacker for the Gamecocks, up and makes the stop. Well, that extra defensive back really was a big call for Clemson on that last series.
Well, it definitely was. They used what they call their dime coverage. You know, we had talked earlier, Mike, about Clemson saying that they needed to get good yardage on first down so they could stay on record. Now they're behind a little bit.
On the option, Pegues drops the football. Falls on it himself and actually gets a couple-yard gain out of it across the 20 to the 21. Tony Watkins on the stop. That had been Pegues' problem early in this season, holding on to the football.
Well, let's take a look at it as we come down with the option play. Pitches out to Pegues, and he just drops the ball. It's been right in his hands. But, you know, that's one of the reasons that Clemson has been successful is due to the fact that they've only lost one fumble all year long. They lead the nation in fumbles.
But Tommy West just had heart failure on that play. Third down. Green.
Got one block.
Across the 25, he's close to a first down. Campbell on the stop again for South Carolina, but I think Lamont Green may have enough for a Tiger first down.
He just didn't have time to see. We had a receiver wide open down the field. Of course, he was trying to get up the field to get the first down, but it could have been an easy touchdown had he have seen that receiver.
I heard the coach coming out in you. You're throw it. He's wide open. 8:20 left first quarter. No score and play action. This time Kenya Crooks is open and he makes the catch across the 40 at the 41-yard line. There had been some doubt as to whether Kenya Crooks would play today. He had a concussion last week, but looks like he's pretty healthy.
Well, let's take a look at it. Watch it. He fakes the bootleg. He comes out. Green finds Crook coming across. Now, this is the thing that Clemson's got to do because South Carolina's jammed in there with 7 in the box. They've got to come out throwing the football on first down, and that's why they did it, and they did it successfully.
On first down, across the 40 up to the 44-yard line. Tony DeSue, who is in the game at fullback. Tony Watkins, again, the strong safety up to make the tackle for South Carolina.
Tony DeSue was a highly recruited athlete out of the Tidewater, Virginia, and is an excellent running back.
Well, DeSue comes off the field now, and Pegues the tailback. Again, it's the option to Pegues. Lamont Pegues up close to another first down. He's going to be about a yard short. Ron Neely, the junior from Pottstown, Pennsylvania, making the tackle on Thomasville, North Carolina's Lamont Pegues.
Well, Mike, the Clemson coaches talked about that they were going to use a lot of option plays, a lot of different style option plays, the loaded option, the speed option, and you're going to see quite a few options out here this afternoon on the perimeter to get the ball on the perimeter against South Carolina.
We have an official timeout now. They want to get the Clemson players back off the sideline. When you're involved in an emotional game like this, Tommy West is saying, what's the matter?
Well, he's a little upset about something.
Referee Al Ford was there telling the players they had to move back a little bit, and they have moved back to his liking, and we're ready to play. 3rd and 2. Great play again by Hank Campbell, who has been all over the field early in this game. Throwing Neilon Green rather for a loss, and he'll bring up 4th down for Clemson.
Well, watch Campbell, number 45, get penetration on Neilon Green as he comes down the line. Outstanding play by Campbell from his middle linebacker position. As you mentioned, he's made a number of tackles this afternoon.
Hank Campbell, junior from Charleston, South Carolina. Nelson Welch had one punt earlier for 45 yards. His 2nd attempt of the afternoon. Not much of a rush by South Carolina. They've got the return on. That's Nicklow at the 19. Nicklow with nowhere to go is going to be run out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Benji Wood down on the coverage.
Excellent.
Still
coverage.
no score early in the first quarter. We'll be back, but first a word from your local ACC station. Success at first drive before throwing the interception. You know, he's quite a different player this year than last. Look at the statistics, particularly the completion percentage. Shows a lot of maturing over a year.
Well, the South Carolina coaches have really been pleased with the progress that Tannehill has made reading the defenses, the coverages of the opposing teams.
Tannehill showed the shotgun and now moves under center. That's Pritchett and Brandon Bennett behind him. This will be Brandon Bennett. Bennett across the 20, not much at all. Tim Jones, the leader on that Clemson defense, is up quickly to make the tackle.
Well, both teams want to try to establish a little run so that they can have some pass, particularly South Carolina. They feel like that they can throw the football a whole lot better if they can get a little running game established.
They threw it pretty good that first series until the interception by Dexter McCleon. 2nd and 8 for the Gamecocks. And again, play action. The rush is on Tannehill. He's going down at the 12-yard line. Darnell Stevens again was there, along with Raymond White, number 97. But Stevens, number 30, was the main man, and he is really playing hard early.
Well, this is one thing that Clemson wanted to do, is put the pressure on Tannehill. And there's 97 coming in, and then watch number 30, Darnell Stevens. Again, he is really liked by the Clemson coaches. They say he has made a great deal of improvement from that defensive end position. Wardell Rouse has 8.5 sacks this season, along with Stevenson. Both of them the leading sackers on the Clemson team.
Loss of 13 yards on the play. Brings up 3rd down. 21. We've got a penalty flag down. I believe Tannehill didn't get the play off. He couldn't hear back there, and he was trying to change the play, and it took too much time, and it's going to be a delay of game, and another 5 yards will be tacked on. They're half the distance to the goal.
Offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Is 4 yards. Now it's 3rd and 25, and Brad Scott has to dig deep into the playbook for this one. 3rd and long. Tannehill overshoots his intended receiver, Toby Cates, and it will be a punting situation for South Carolina. Derwin Jeffcoat coming onto the field, and the Clemson defense gets a nice hand from this homestanding crowd.
Well, again, Mike, they used the 2 extra defensive backs in the ball game. They put in Ford at cornerback and moved Humphreys in on the inside receiver. That's worked very effectively for them. The last time they used it, McCleon intercepted.
Well, Jeffcoat has been list punted all year long. Marty Simpson, and we had word that this might happen today. South Carolina has changed punters. Marty Simpson punting today gets off a pretty good one that Humphrey is going to let drop. And it definitely takes a South Carolina roll into Clemson territory. Marty Simpson now the punter for South Carolina. No score, 4:11 left to play, first quarter in Death Valley. No score in this battle between 2 great rivals, South Carolina and Clemson. Mike Hogwood and Bill Dooley with you. 4:11 left in the first quarter, and all those pregame nerves and jitters should have calmed down now, and we're settled into some good football. From the 49, right up the middle, it is Raymond Priester. Right now, let's take a look at the First Union presenting around the ACC. Virginia Tech at high noon. The Hokies lead this in-state rivalry 37-35. There have been 5 ties. Both teams in the top 25. Wake Forest, Georgia Tech trying to get an ACC win. Maryland at Syracuse. Jermaine Lewis of Maryland goes for his 5th straight 100-yard receiving day. And how about Florida and NC State? Will Terry Harvey play tonight? If not, Jeff Bender will be the quarterback. There's a flag down as Nealon Green turns up on the option. We also have an injured player on the field. Nealon Green gets across midfield for the first time for the Clemson Tigers, but there is a penalty.
Well, Mike, that looks like it might be a holding penalty from where that flag came from. Let's take a look and see what the referee says.
Block on the offense, 15 yards, still 2nd down.
Referee Al Ford. And it will be 2nd and long for the Tigers. It will negate the gain.
Here's the gain by Green. It's good second effort by Green as you see him cut back up inside.
Tommy West in his first year at Clemson not happy at all with the penalty that has momentarily slowed down this drive a bit. And 2nd and 25 is not the kind of situation the Clemson offense wants to be in at all. Play action, Green will throw. He's going deep for Hinton. Nice coverage on the play by Corey Bell, the senior cornerback out of Miami, on Marcus Hinton. And it'll bring up 3rd and long.
Well, the coaches said earlier that they were going to go deep on South Carolina. They were going to try to go deep. And Hinton's got good speed, number 6. Watch Corey Bell and Hinton go up Corey Bell does an excellent job playing the ball at its height. Watch his hand go up over him. Outstanding job by Bell.
Green now 1 out of 3 passing, 19 yards. Antoine Wyatt is in the game for the first time today on this 3rd and long. Green had Raymond Priester out in the flat, but Priester simply dropped it, and again Nelson Welch will have to come on and kick it away for the Tigers.
Well, that was just a little dump pass, little screen to the fullback, Priester.
Let's check some scores of some other games. The Cavaliers out in front of the Hokies early, 3-0 in the first quarter. And Maryland down a touchdown to the Orangemen of Syracuse right now. Call 1-900-267-5757 for score updates. The block was on, but Welch got it away. Nicklow at the 24. A tough time deciding which way to go. Only picks up a couple yards. Another good punt by Nelson Welch. That one went 43 yards. And right now we just kind of had a little bit of a tussling match. Both teams feeling each other out, trying to.
It looks like a flag's out there, Mike, over on the far sideline.
Might be hitting out of bounds as Nicklow taking that punt to the left side. Let's see. There he steps. That's the call.
On the
it's
return
close.
against the white team, 10 yards, first down.
A block in the back, as we so often see on these kicking situations. Sometimes it is really tough to avoid sometimes when you get turned the wrong way.
Well, it definitely is, and it puts South Carolina back in another little hole, Mike. They're back inside their 20-yard line.
You see the numbers on Steve Tannehill, 3 out of 5 for 1 interception. And South Carolina was driving early in the game. Pritchett and Bennett in the backfield along with Steve Tannehill. Bennett faces a tough rush and Tannehill has a tough time getting it away because of number 13, Wardell Rouse, who really came in and gave Steve Tannehill all he could handle.
What a play by Wardell Rouse as he bull rushes right through, go through the offensive tackle, rushes right through him and gets his hands up. And what a tremendous job by Rouse. Number 68 was trying to block on Wardell, but couldn't hold on to him, didn't keep his shoulders square.
Tannehill's missed on his last 3 passes. 2nd down and 10 now from the 17. Again on play action, this time the screen. It's complete to Bennett. Bennett breaks a tackle. Bennett with first down yardage up across the 35-yard line. Tim Jones brought him down, but not before a great run.
Also, you can see the little screen pass out to Bennett, but watch the blocking out in front of Bennett. There's the lineman right there. Excellent job by number 73. Vincent Dimpkins, the offensive center of South Carolina, paves the way for Brandon Bennett's big run.
Brandon Bennett, 40 receptions on this season, 2nd on the team. Going long is Tannehill. He's got a man, and it's complete to the 23. You told us they might go deep, and this time it's Mike Reddick. Reddick, the junior from Miami.
Well, Tannehill displayed a lot of poise. He sat back there. He had the pressure on him, and he kept looking and kept looking. And there he is, right as he just outran the secondary. Big play by Tannehill to Reddick, who comes in the one-back set.
So often you see a game like this decided by big plays, and as you said, both teams were going to try to go long today. It also helps when there's a linebacker covering the running back, Mike Reddick. And here's a little flanker screen that gets down to the 20. There's a flag down. Pass was to Monty Means from Steve Tannehill, who went cold for a minute, but now Tannehill is red hot again.
I think you're going to see a block in the back on this particular play, Mike. It negates that good gain by South Carolina.
Our referee is Al Ford.
Against the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, still first down.
Let's take a look at it. There's the block right there on Dexter McCleon. Number 9 hit him right in the back. That block was by number 68.
The ball is moved back to the 38-yard line. It'll be 1st and 24 for South Carolina. Nicklow in the game now as one of the wide receivers, along with Toby Cates. And the give is to Pritchett, who was the sole back in the backfield. Raymond White, the freshman from Clinton, Mississippi, up to make the stop.
Well, that was a big play by White as he stayed right at home, fought off the blocker, and made the big play.
Gain of only a yard, 2nd and 23. Again, Pritchett remains the only back in the backfield, and now he goes in motion. Tannehill got time. Wanted Toby Cates down around the 9-yard line. Good coverage, as you saw, by number 20, Brian Dawkins, on the play.
Well, this is what the South Carolina offensive coaching staff was talking about. Ricky Bussell, they wanted to move Cates around, Toby Cates, and they send him right down the middle to get a good matchup on the linebackers of Clemson rather than the defensive back. It looks like Toby Cates is limping a little bit, Mike, going off the field.
That's a player they can ill afford to lose. Cates, the real big play man. Mike Reddick is back in the game in the backfield. And now he comes out to a wide receiver on 3rd and 23. Nice play by Dexter McCleon, number 9 for the Clemson Tigers, who broke up that pass.
Well, again, the defensive line of Clemson really puts the pressure on. Barney came in, really put the pressure on Tannehill, and McCleon, as you mentioned, was right on top of the receiver.
And the Tigers will punt it away. Marty Simpson, again, as we told you, has the punting job today for the Carolina Gamecocks. Clemson has nobody back. Simpson will try to angle it out of bounds, no doubt. And instead just floats it into the end zone. It'll be a touchback and 1st and 10 for the Clemson Tigers at the 20-yard line. Well, Simpson hit that punt, tried to hit it really easy, but just got a little too much foot into it and doesn't make the sideline very happy at all. Some scores of other games. We have 41 seconds left in the first quarter here. North Carolina and Duke are tied at 7 in Durham, North Carolina today. Ohio State with the safety leading the Michigan Wolverines in a big rivalry there. Virginia now up 6-0. We're scoreless here, and that's Pegues, who goes absolutely nowhere. Again, Hank Campbell, number 45, one of the primary tacklers. And that running game inside is just not going right now for Clemson.
Well, it isn't, Mike, and this is one thing the Clemson coaches talked about. We've got to make good yardage on first down to stay on schedule. If we can make 4 yards, we are all right. But they come up with no gain, and that's going to put them in a passing situation. And this is what South Carolina was trying to do, to force them to have to throw the football.
New fullback in the game for the Clemson Tigers. It's Benji Wood, the freshman from Atlanta. This will be the last play of the first quarter. Elon Green turns it upfield for a couple of yards before, again, Hank Campbell, number 45, who has been everywhere in this first quarter, was there. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. We are scoreless in Death Valley. This great rivalry in the Palmetto State headed to the second quarter. 0-0 between the Gamecocks and Tigers. Mike Hogwood and Bill Dooley with you in Clemson, South Carolina. 0-0 our score as we get set to start the second quarter. It'll be 3rd and 6, balls on the 24. Antoine Wyatt is in the game, replacing Lamont Pegues. Benji Wood is also in there. Green, straight drop back. He's got Kenya Crooks, who breaks a tackle. Crooks has a first down up across the 35-yard line. Stacey Evans made the hit, but not before a fine reception by Kenya Crooks, who is the leading receiver for a freshman in Clemson history.
Well, they've got a one-back offense, and they hit right outside the Crooks, a little three-step drop pass, and, of course, that picks up the first down. This is what Clemson's got to do. They've got to open them up a little bit because South Carolina's keeping them inside in the box.
Pegues is back in the game. That's Pegues with the football, and Lamont Pegues has gone absolutely nowhere today. Evans among the men up there to make the hit, along with Ben Washington. Right now, let's take a look at our Lee Apparel first quarter stats. And as you see, look at the big discrepancy in the passing and in the rushing as well. The Clemson Tigers have gained 18. A lot of them have been sacks for South Carolina, but 102 yards passing so far for South Carolina.
Well, they've really taken advantage of the middle part by moving Toby Cates around and getting a good matchup with him.
Lamont Pegues, 7 carries for only 10 yards today. Play action. Green's going deep. He's got a man wide open. Kenya Crooks did not have a defender within 10 yards of him. The ball was just overthrown.
Well, the Clemson coaches, Clyde Christensen and Rick Stockstill, the coordinators, felt that they could go deep on the cornerbacks of South Carolina with play-action pass. And, of course, it was wide open for them.
When you're a coach and see that, that's when you just kind of close your eyes for a minute, isn't it?
Just a little more patience, and Green would have had it in there.
I mean, there was nobody anywhere near Kenya Crooks on that play. Ball was just overthrown. Again, Clemson lines up with 3 wide receivers. Nealon Green did not like what he saw and did not have the Marcus Hinton did not know exactly where he should have been lining up. So Green saw the play clock winding down and wisely called timeout. Well, as you said, Bill, you don't want to be in 3rd and 10 if you're Clemson's offense. But they've got to loosen the defense up a bit.
Well, that's exactly right, Mike. On first down, they've got to come out and throw the football some because South Carolina is playing with 7 defensive football players in the box. And it's very difficult to run up inside when you've got that many bodies. So if you spread them out and you play action pass on them some, that will make those linebackers get out of there. And that's what Clemson's got to be able to do.
There you get a look at Brad Scott, hoping his defense can hold on his 3rd down play and get the offense the ball back. Saw a moment ago Rick Stockstill, who was talking with Nealon Green along with Tommy West. Stockstill and Clyde Christensen, co-offensive coordinators. There's Tommy West in his first season and coached the team in the Peach Bowl last year. But then this season made a lot of changes in Clemson football and the offense, and really has him playing what he wants, and hopefully has the groundwork for some great football teams down the road here. He's really got it going here at Clemson.
Well, he certainly has. They're very young, and they're going to be very good for a long time.
Pegues and Wyatt are in the backfield with Green. Pass is complete. That's Antoine Wyatt, who is the leading receiver on this Clemson team. That's his 30th catch of the season. Watkins makes the stop, and we've seen a lot of Wyatt on passing situations.
This is a little 3-step drop flare pass out to Wyatt. Wyatt is very elusive, makes a good move on the would-be tackler, and goes back inside, and Anthony Brooks makes the stop.
Not enough for a first down. Nelson Welch will have to kick it away. 3 punts, averaging 43.7. This one's not going near that far, but it takes a great roll. It may have hit somebody.
I believe it did. That's why he went after that football the way he did.
Well, a big break for South Carolina. They've still got the football at the 15-yard line, where they'll have it when we come back to Clemson. 23 left to play, first half. Mike Hogwood and Bill Dooley here. It's been a defensive battle so far. Neither team can get their running game untracked. Brandon Bennett's been pretty well shut down so far. He's got the ball right now. Bennett breaks a tackle, gets across the 15 up to about the 17, but it's only about a 2-yard gain. Mike Barber in to make the stop for the Tigers. Brandon Bennett, 3 carries, 9 yards. Well below his average. Average is 4.4 yards a carry. 2nd and 8 from the 17-yard line. Tannehill. This is Bennett. Bennett's got a first down and more across the 30. Again, it's Barber making the stop, but not before Brandon Bennett gets a South Carolina first down.
This is a well-executed play as they fake to Bennett up in the middle. Then they hit the little screen pass to him right there. What a move he makes on that tackle. There's Barber coming in, number 12, and Barber, one of the leading tacklers on the Clemson defense, makes that stop. Not before Brandon Bennett makes a big gain.
First and 10. Ball's marked at the 30-yard line, and Tannehill in the shotgun. Pass is complete to Cates. He's got another first down up across the 40. Andre Carter makes the stop, but not before the pass play from Tannehill to Cates is good for us, another first down.
Well, Clemson was putting the pressure on. Watch number 30, Stevens, and number 20 up, the defensive back, comes in, and they hit Toby Cates. Toby is the big play football player for South Carolina, and he really provides them with a big lift on this offense.
Toby Cates with 38 catches coming into the game, second on the team. Brandon Bennett's the leading receiver, as well as the leading rusher. Ball at the 43-yard line. And again, South Carolina starting to mount a drive. Out of the shotgun, there's that draw to Bennett. And again, the running play gets only a couple before Tim Jones, the Clemson great linebacker, makes the stop.
Well, South Carolina's mixing it up good, Mike. They're throwing, they're running the draws up inside, and that's the way you have a balanced type offense to keep the defense off guard a little bit.
Gain of 2 makes it 2nd and 8. Mike Reddick is in the game. We've seen him used as a pass receiver out of the backfield a couple of times today. He's the lone setback with Steve Tannehill. Again out of the shotgun. Tannehill's pass is complete across the 50-yard line to Andre Humphrey in and making the stop.
That's quite a hit by Andre Humphrey as he comes up from his cornerback position. That's 5 receivers out. Watch Humphrey, number 34, come up. Good tackle. He keeps his feet moving and does not allow the ball carrier to fall forward.
Calvin Owens with a nice catch for the Gamecocks. It's 3rd and 2. Ball is just across midfield. Pritchett is going to be up close to the first down.
I believe he's got it, Mike. That was a good line surge by the offensive line, and of course Pritchett gave good second effort on his carrying that football, and that enables them to get that first down.
So once again, South Carolina has mounted a drive, and again is in Clemson territory. You'll remember early in the first quarter, Tannehill threw an interception. First down from the 45. This is Bennett. Pritchett leading the way. Good block by the fullback. And Brandon Bennett with a nice gain on first down to about the 38-yard line before Mike Barber and Brian Dawkins can make the stop for the Tigers.
Tackled by number 12, Mike Barber, and number 20, Brian Dawkins.
Good lead blocking that time by Delvin Herring, the left guard, and also by the fullback, Pritchett.
You're exactly right. Look at Bennett. He's right behind Harold Green and George Rogers as far as the career rushing leaders are concerned.
Bennett's led this team in rushing every year he's been here. He's got the football again. This time, he's not going to gain anything. Tiger defense had that smelled out. Warren Forney and Andre Humphrey along with Brett Williams, number 92.
Well, let's take a look at it as they run the sweep out to Bennett. And there's Pritchett leading. Oh, what a tackle. Didn't wrap him up. That was Stevens, number 30, who first came in there and hit him. Good penetration, though, by Stevens.
Another big third down play. From the 39-yard line, it's 3rd and 4. Bennett is going to be well short, down to about the 38. They are not in the field goal range of Reed Morton. Marvin Cross with the stop. And some South Carolina fans who are here are hollering for Brad Scott, Steve Tannehill to go for it, and they just might do it.
Well, it looks like 4th and about 1, or maybe a little bit more than 1.
Being called 4th and 2, and Steve Tannehill has got his troops together.
They may try to draw him off sides here.
South Carolina with their tight goal line offense situation, no wide receivers, and somebody moved.
They did. That's exactly what they were trying to do, Mike. They shifted. They drew Clemson off sides, and I believe it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Give them the first down. Watch South Carolina shift, and you can move the tight end.
Number 83, James Cummings, the tight end that moved, and that was perfectly legal.
Simulating the start of a snap. Still fourth down.
Well,
what they've said that they jerked a little bit too much to simulate as if they were starting to play.
Well, Al Ford, the referee, certainly closer to the play than we are. Marty Simpson, 2 punts today, had one that rolled and went a total of 48 yards. And now Al Ford wants to discuss something with the other officials.
I think Brad Scott is a little upset about that call. That you are allowed to shift, but you can't jerk when you shift, Mike. If you jerk, then you're simulating the start of a play.
And the problem, though, is the coach on the sidelines can't see that jerk. And so he is, what do you mean it was?
Well, we can take a look at it and actually see that they may have really simulated like a start. Well, they were moving laterally. They weren't moving forward. But anytime you make a jerky move, then they say that you are...
Well, South Carolina is going to take a timeout. Brad Scott has not said all he has to say to Al Ford. He's going to take a timeout so he can get his words in. And Tommy West is saying, let's get on with it and get us the football. That will happen in just a moment. Fourth down, South Carolina's going to punt it away. We have no score, 8:15 left to play, first half. Second quarter, and Marty Simpson on fourth down will punt the ball away. Andre Humphrey standing at his 10-yard line. The ball kicks into the end zone for a touchback. Clemson Tigers will have the ball at the 20, but hold on, there's a flag down.
Mike, I believe there was a little movement there prior to the punt, and it appeared that Chris Abrams was a fellow that moved up front.
On the offense, the penalties declined. The touchback got first down.
42-yard kick for Marty Simpson. It'll give the Tigers a first down at the 20-yard line. Total yards so far, well, the Gamecocks are out in front, but what matters is the scoreboard, and neither team is scratched there.
Well, we talked about, I think Clemson's got to be able to open the play up on first down. They've got to throw the football and loosen that defense up. They're still in the box.
And it's Pegues again and again. He doesn't get anything on first down.
Well, it's very difficult, Mike, when you've got 7 people sitting up in there. You've got to come out and get the ball on the perimeter or loosen them up with the pass.
There you see David Turnipseed and Hank Campbell, who were in on that tackle, along with Eric Sullivan. And it will be second down and 10 for the Tiger offense. The running game has just not been there today for Clemson. Priester and Pegues in the backfield. Green to throw. And it's going to be picked off. Corey Bell has it. And our first really big break of this game, and there are flags down all over the far sideline. The pass was intended for Henry Guest, but it was overthrown. Guest tipped it, and Corey Bell, the senior from Miami, comes up with the interception.
Well, that looked like the old tip drill, Mike, that you work on in practice. Came right off of Guest's fingertips. Watch Green go back. Sprint out pass. It's a little curl pattern to Guest coming inside, right off his fingertips, and good concentration on the football by Corey Bell. Corey Bell comes down with it and doesn't give up and takes the ball down the sidelines.
And we might mention that's the first time this season that Nealon Green has been intercepted.
Now that's something like 85 or 86 passes with no interception.
Against the white team on the return. After the play was over, we had a dead ball, personal foul against this team. It'll be 15 yards this way and an automatic first down.
Well, you hear the penalties and the cause of all the commotion on the far sidelines from Al Ford. Tommy West not happy about it because South Carolina gets the ball 1st and 10 in what we call the red zone down inside the 20, but the Clemson defense has been great down here. The opponents have been in the red zone 32 times this season and come away with only 9 touchdowns. That's a pretty good record. So now the Clemson defense will be put to the test. Ball's at the 16-yard line. 1st down, Gamecocks. Fumble, and Pritchett is on the ball very quickly at the 19-yard line.
Well, I was going to add, Mike, that's what they have been able to do. They have had 7 turnovers. They have forced 7 turnovers when people have gotten down in what we call the red zone.
Let's take a look at quarterback Steve Tannehill. Look at him surveying that defense. He was not, I don't think he was ready for that snap.
I think he saw the blitz coming and tried to get out of it.
Heads up play by Stanley Pritchett. Now 2nd down from the 19, 13 to go, loss of 3. Brandon Bennett. Oh. Boy, it is tough inside today. Marvin Cross, number 91, also Lamarick Simpson there for the Tigers. Neither team finding it going very good up the middle.
That's an excellent defensive play by Cross. Watch him stand the blocker up and then stay square and then come in on Brandon Bennett and not allow him any yardage at all. That's a superb defensive football play.
Well, the Clemson defense has done what they've done all year when opponents have got down there, and that's shut down the offense. 3rd and 12. Another big 3rd down play for the Gamecocks. Tannehill with time. Toby Cates, touchdown. Steve Tannehill to Toby Cates, his 7th touchdown catch of the year.
Well, that's an outstanding play. Tannehill just puts it right on the money. And Mike, we talked about earlier that they were trying to move Toby Cates around and put him in position where he could get a good matchup. Watch Tannehill, he sets his feet, throws a perfect strike to Toby Cates. Of course, Brian Dawkins, the strong safety, was just not able to get in good position because Cates had inside position on him.
Reed Morton to tie the extra point. He's been perfect all season. He's 26 out of 26 this year. The South Carolina Gamecocks have drawn first blood 7-0 over the Clemson Tigers on an 18-yard touchdown pass. Steve Tannehill to Toby Cates. And some of the South Carolina faithful here really delighting in their team, getting some offense going after the turnover.
Well, he had good position. See, Cates was inside of number 20, Brian Dawkins. When you get that kind of position, you have to interfere with the receiver to break up the pass.
Toby Cates has 3 catches today for 54 yards, and of course that 1 touchdown that you see his teammates congratulating him about. Steve Tannehill a good day, 9 for 14. But it was all started by the interception by the South Carolina defense.
Well, Corey Bell making the big play on that interception.
Andre Humphrey and Andre Williams will be back to receive the kick. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation, and the use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Atlantic Coast Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Mike Hogwood and Bill Dooley with you. 6 minutes to go till halftime. 7-0. South Carolina out in front of Clemson. Reed Morton again preparing to kick off. Humphrey and Williams deep for the Tigers. And now an important series coming up for the Clemson offense.
Well, it definitely is. Clemson has got to show that they're willing to throw the football on early downs and not wait until they get behind schedule.
This is Williams. Williams breaks a tackle and gets across the 20 up to about the 21-yard line where the Tigers will put it in play. 18-yard return for Andre Williams. Ben Washington on the stop for South Carolina. And Nealon Green comes right back out there. Important, I think, for a freshman after you throw an interception, the first of your entire career. I would be surprised they come right back with a pass play on first down.
Well, I think they will too, and I don't think that Nealon is going to get his confidence shaken because he's a good football player and he'll overcome it.
Pegues and Priester, the setbacks. On the option, it's Pegues. McGeese is in the open field and just tripped up across the 45 by Chris Rump.
Well, what an outstanding play. You know, you come back, you run the option, and Batiste comes in, and it's stopped by Tony Horn. Watch the block. Watch Horn right here. Make the block. Oh, number 58 makes a shoestring tackle. That's Chris Rump at defensive end, makes that tackle to save a touchdown.
And as you said, Coach Dooley, how about number 80, Tony Horn? What a great block that was, and what a big confidence lift it is for the Clemson Tigers. Again, it's McGeese who gets across midfield into South Carolina territory just there. Lamont McGeese had 136 yards against Georgia Tech last week. He is the leading rusher on this Clemson team, a true freshman out of Thomasville, North Carolina.
Mike, that's what they've got to do. They've got to get the ball out on the perimeter, or else they've got to throw it. They're jammed up inside. They've got to get it outside and throw the football.
5 minutes, clock's running. This is Green off the option. Green had over 100 yards rushing a week ago. Maynard Caldwell making the stop, but not before another 4 or 5 yards by Nealon Green. The problem with this kind of offense, Bill, is that you start using up the clock a whole lot. They're going to have to keep an eye on that as we get close down to the 4.5-minute mark.
Well, they employed the unbalanced line that time, and I think they surprised South Carolina because they didn't overshift, and Green was able to keep up inside on the option.
Big third down play. 3rd and 3 for the Tigers. McGeese has got the first down and more to the 37-yard line before Tony Watkins comes up from his strong safety spot to hit him.
Well, the offensive line, watch the surge of the offensive line as they come off, and Batiste finds that crease in that defense. Makes a good play. Oh, and there's 24. Tony Watkins, the strong safety, the leading tackler on the South Carolina football team, making the stop on McGeese.
Now 47 yards rushing for Lamont McGeese. The big play really helped him. Again on the option, McGeese gets maybe to the line of scrimmage before Stacey Evans makes the stop. Also Mike Washington there as well.
Well, I think they were ready for the option that time as they come up, and there's number 93. You can see him coming into the screen right there, Stacey Evans making the stop.
So by not gaining anything on first down, it is now 2nd and 11, and it's tough to run that option now. And Green will throw it. He's got a receiver open, it's Hinton, he's got it, and a first down near the 15-yard line, out of bounds at the 16, ridden out by Corey Bell, but Marcus Hinton was wide open on that play, and give Nealon Green some credit, put the pass right where he had to.
Well, he certainly did. What Clemson employed a close formation that time, and Corey Bell was inside of the formation, and that way Hinton just broke to the outside, and he was wide open. That's why that play was effective.
Deepest penetration by the Clemson Tigers today, down to the 15-yard line. It's 1st and 10. 3:22 left to play first half. Green gives up to his fullback. That's Priester. Priester, touchdown Tigers.
Well, again, the offensive line comes off, and they employed the unbalanced line, and they suck the ball right in there. I like Priester. He's a good hard runner.
Give some credit to Henry Getz, the wide receiver, made a great block on the play. Here's Priester right up the middle.
As the tight end, Ed Glenn, making a good block, and Priester just breaks tackles and goes inside.
Getz making that block down at the 4-yard line. Here comes Nelson Welch after the 15-yard run by Raymond Priester. Welch for the extra point. It's good, and we are dead even in Death Valley. We're all tied up at 7, 3:16 left to play in the first half between the Gamecocks and the Tigers.
Is ironing your pants too much trouble? Try wrinkle-free casuals in 100% cotton from Lee.
When is a minivan not a minivan? When you turn old thinking upside down and make it longer and wider for a smoother, secure ride. Next is safety with a capital S, making it the only minivan that combines standard dual airbags, 5-mile-an-hour bumpers, and anti-lock brakes, which should suit you to a T. And erase any idea that the new Ford Windstar is just another minivan. The future belongs to Windstar.
Is that a new credit card?
It's my new First Union check card. It's got great and wondrous value.
What's it do?
It's magic. It's like a check. It pays for our lunch, takes the money right out of my checking account.
Ooh, clever card.
And buy some gas, some groceries. It's even an ATM card. I can use it to get money here, anywhere else in the world, 24 hours a day.
Let's go.
Where?
Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking dinner in Rome.
Yeah, sure. I'm thinking somewhere closer to home. Give me that card. Excuse me.
Get all the value of the card that works like a check. The check card from First Union.
People stopping by.
More and more people are stopping by for Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline.
People stopping by.
They're stopping by for a gasoline that controls deposits on valves and keeps your engine's fuel system clean.
People stopping by to relax.
They're stopping by for smooth acceleration and the full 93 octane of Exxon 93 Supreme.
People stopping by to relax.
And don't forget, cash and credit prices are now the same.
Welcome back to Clemson, South Carolina, where we're all even. 7-7, 3:16 to play, first half. Jeff Sauve prepares to kick off as you see the scoring drive capped off by Raymond Priest. 15-yard touchdown run. This is Reggie Richardson and Brandon Bennett deep. It is Bennett with the football. Bennett breaks a couple of tackles and Brennan across the 35 to the 38-yard line. David Zeiler makes the tackle on special teams. Coming up at halftime, we will have our play of the week, our player of the week, also the best of the ACC. One for the books. Look back in Atlantic Coast Conference history. All that coming up just a couple of minutes at halftime. Also a special interview that we'll be telling you about in just a couple of minutes. Mike Reddick now in the backfield for South Carolina. They've got 3:09 to move the football. Dead even at 7. Hill. It's time. Got a wide open receiver, and it goes through the hands of Mike Reddick. He was wide open, and I think he started seeing the end zone before he caught that football, Bill.
Well, Mike, they sent 5 receivers out, and they send Reddick right down the middle, and there's no defender there. He's tied on to a linebacker. Tim Jones had the responsibility of covering Reddick, and that was just a mismatch. And it was just wide open, and Tannehill just overthrew him.
Tannehill and Reddick will be talking about that at halftime. What might have been 9 for 15 so far in the game for Steve Tannehill. Tannehill escapes pressure. He's got Toby Cates again. Cates breaks a couple of tackles and is down in the Clemson territory, out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Andre Carter knocks him out on the far sideline.
Well, again, Mike, they're sending 5 receivers out. That time they dragged Cates from across the field, the other side of the field. Here he comes, number 12. That's a missed tackle, and there's Andre Cardinal. That's Brian Dawkins making the stop, along with Andre Carter.
It is first down at the 31-yard line. Under 3 minutes to play first half. All tied at 7. Tim Jones says, hey, I'm in the backfield. He got back, and here's Brandon Bennett. Down to about the 22. Nice gain for Bennett. Boy, Tim Jones just did get back.
Well, that's an unusual play. When you don't touch anyone, there's no penalty. No penalty whatsoever. Had he have touched someone, look, he goes right through, then he goes back. The ball is not snapped. And, of course, he gets back onside. And there's no penalty whatsoever.
You got to believe the center, Vincent Deacons, thought hard about snapping it when he saw Jones back there. This is Bennett down across the 20 to the 19. He's got enough for a first down. Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouses invite you to come by and register for a trip for 2 to the Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl. Airfare, accommodations, tickets, all provided by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. First down at the 19-yard line for the South Carolina Gamecocks. 2:04 to play, first half. Tied at 7. Brandon Bennett, 10 carries, 32 yards. Somebody moved up front. Flags fly. Steve Tannehill thinks it's Clemson jumping off sides.
Well, I believe Tannehill is changing his snap count up a little bit and making the cadence a little different and making the defense jump. Let's take a look at it. There it is right there. Steve Tannehill just changed the cadence a little bit.
Tannehill was absolutely correct. 1st and 5. Ball now at the 14-yard line. Tannehill changing the play. This is Pritchett up the middle. Stanley Pritchett, touchdown, South Carolina.
What a hole made by the offensive line of South Carolina. Vincent Dinkins, the center, paves the way for Pritchett as he goes up inside. Boy, that's excellent line blocking.
A run of 14 yards by Stanley Pritchett.
Watch Dinkins, hits the center, opens a hole up for the fullback Pritchett. Boy, Vincent Dinkins did a good job, number 73, blocking the nose guard of Clemson.
Stanley Pritchett with his 8th touchdown of the season. Reed Morton is on to try the extra point. Morton's kick is absolutely perfect. South Carolina now out in front, 14-7.
Watch the center. Makes the block. Good running right there. Breaks tackles, and Pritchett goes into the end zone. That was Beckwith rather than Dinkins. That was number 53 rather than 73.
I was going to say, let's give some credit to the freshman, Paul Beckwith from Palatka, Florida, who was in there in replace of Dinkins and did a great job opening up that hole. Let's take a look at some other scores from around the country. Games being played today. Wow, what a shootout they're having in Durham, huh? 17-17, North Carolina and Duke. Syracuse out on top of Maryland, 21-3. And Virginia, great game there. And that's well, you know what that Virginia Tech-Virginia rivalry is all about, don't you, Coach?
Well, that's just like this rivalry right here that we're seeing today. A great football game here, South Carolina and Clemson.
And it's 14-7 Gamecocks. 1:31 left. Andre Humphrey and Andre Williams are back deep for the Clemson Tigers. That's Reed Morton, who has been sharing kickoff duties this season, but has done it all today. This will be Williams from the 2. Andre Williams up to about the 22-yard line. That's where the Tiger offense will put it in play. Jody Caldwell makes the stop for South Carolina. 20 yards on that kickoff return. All right, Bill, 1:25. Do you go for the tying score, or do you just play and want to come out in the second half?
Well, I would think that Tommy West is going to try to get the ball up the field and not, you want to get a little momentum going in at half. And you just don't want to sit on it right now, Mike. You've got to try to move that thing down to at least field goal scoring position.
Lamont Pegues is the tailback. He's had one big run already today. This is Pegues with the football again. Priester with a pretty good block. Pegues turns the corner right up to the 30-yard line.
Well, that's just good speed by Lamont Pegues as he outruns the corner.
Gain of 7 by number 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 as Tony Watkins ran him out. See Tommy West. Can't be too displeased with his team's performance here in this first half. 2nd and 3. 1:18 to play, first half. On the option, Nealon Green did not get up enough for the first down. Got across the 30-yard line, but that's it as David Turnipseed and Aubrey Brooks make the stop.
Well, Mike, South Carolina's defensive line is getting penetration and not allowing Green to come down that line and option the end man. And when you do that, it takes the option out of the play.
Under a minute to play, first half here at Death Valley. Clock's running at 50 seconds now. 3rd down and 2. Again, the option in the pitch to Pegues. It's strung out. Pegues thrown for a loss. Clemson will have to punt it away.
That's great pursuit. Excellent pursuit.
Tony Watkins, number 24, leading tackler on this team. Ronnie Smith, outside linebacker there as well. That's Smith who makes the initial penetration.
There's Smith coming up along with Watkins. That's excellent pursuit. That's flying around the football.
Nelson Welch has had a good day punting the football today. Our pregame show today, we talked about Nelson and all the records he has set here at Clemson. He's averaged 44 yards on his punts. Flags fly. Clemson may have waited too long to get that punt off. Now 38 seconds left to go, first half.
Snap movement by the offensive line, 5 yards, still fourth down.
Illegal procedure indicated against the Dodgers.
Toby Cates will be receiving this Nelson Welch punt. He's standing at his 45-yard line, and South Carolina is going to take a timeout and talk about what they want to do on this punt. They have blocked a few this year, and it's something that they have done very, very well. Lee Wiggins has 5 blocked kicks so far this season, and with 38 seconds left, as you look at the penalties and the yards, just about even. Would you put the punt block on here, 38 seconds to go before the half?
Well, Toby, Kobe Cates back there, I believe that I would go ahead and try to block it with this minimum amount of time left in the half. Also, I believe that Toby Cates is averaging a little over 6 yards per return. He could have an opportunity to fake the block, hold everyone up, and then let Cates get back up the field and attempt a long field goal. Because Reed is a good kicker.
Certainly with Tannehill's arm, you got to think they could get in Reed Morton's field goal range. Brad Scott wanted to make sure everybody on this punt team was on the same page, so he took the timeout. 14-7 South Carolina, 38 seconds until halftime. Got a look there at Toby Cates, who's caught a touchdown pass today from Steve Tannehill. Welch gets the punt away. It takes a big Clemson roll, rolls dead about at the 45-yard line, and also took 11 seconds off the clock as well on that punt.
Well, Welch was smart. He punted away from Cates to not give him any opportunity to get the ball back up the field.
Only a 34-yard punt by Nelson Welch, but very effective, as you saw. And there's Toby Cates. No doubt he'll have the attention of Steve Tannehill and also that South Carolina defense, or rather Clemson defense. The cornerbacks, Dexter McLeon, Peter Ford. Tannehill throwing on first down. Across the middle to Bennett. Bennett stopped just about at the first down marker into the 46-yard line. Andier McCoy makes the stop.
Well, again, Mike, they're using 5 receivers out. 5 receivers are coming out, and they're putting pressure, making the linebackers have to cover underneath.
Well, South Carolina is pretty serious about trying to get some kind of points on here. They've called another timeout.
When they host UNC Greensboro at 2 o'clock in Gilded Gym.
16 seconds left to play first half. They have no timeouts remaining, so they'll have to throw some kind of pass here where if they complete it, they can get the clock stopped.
Well, I think, again, Clemson's going to be laying off, so they're probably going to hit something up underneath. A little short pass, hoping he can run up in there.
See on the monitor that Steve, or on the screen rather, Steve Tannehill chasing Todd Ellis. Wow, Todd Ellis had a great career here. Fantastic. But look at Tannehill, who's a junior, be back next year. Needs 2 touchdown passes to equal Ellis's season mark of 20. Tannehill with 1 touchdown pass today to Toby Cates.
Second down and 1.
Second down and 1. That's not important. The clock is. Tannehill going deep and overshoots Monty Means down around the 21-yard line. Still 10 seconds left on the clock. Still time to complete a pass and kick a field goal.
That was a deep out pattern. I thought they'd go underneath a little bit since Clemson was playing off with their secondary, giving them a lot of cushion.
Tannehill gets the word from Brad Scott on the sideline. Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator, up here in the press box. Tannehill needs to hit this pass to get in the field goal range. And he's not going to have a chance. Brett Williams all over Steve Tannehill. And that'll be the final play of the first half.
That was an excellent play by Brett Williams, number 92, from his defensive tackle position. Just came in. That's what they've got to do, is put pressure on Tannehill. Watch number 92. Just bull rushes, goes over number 39, Pritchett, and makes the sack on Tannehill.
Everything you would expect in this great battle in the Palmetto State. South Carolina leads Clemson by a touchdown, 14-7. We're at halftime.
Michael has a Clemson jersey for you with your name across the back and with number 43 representing the number of years which you have broadcast South Carolina athletic events.
Hold it up high.
Bob Fulton is certainly one of the greats in this business. His booth is right beside us, and he hadn't made it back yet, but he'll be back soon and calling the second half of this game as Jeff Sauve gets set to kick off for the Clemson Tigers. 14-7. Gamecocks out on top. This will be Bennett. Bennett a yard deep in the end zone. Oh, and he's going to throw it across the field. That was a lateral. This is Reggie Richardson. It fooled the Clemson defense. Richardson at the 20. Richardson down to the 6-yard line. Oh, my, Bill.
What a great play. That's one of the old plays out of my book, Mike. The lateral on the kickoff. You know, he was tackled by his own man. He fell over his own man. Richardson, I believe. All right, no, it was Nick Lowe, number 11. He fell right over the back of him. Watch this. Throws it right out. My gosh, what a play. Look at that wall set up. Good block there by number 16.
You see a play like that and you wonder, hey, why do teams do this more often? Boy, you talk about a lightning strike at the start of the second half. My goodness.
What a surprise. You normally do that late in the game.
Daryl Nicklow, you saw on the sideline, shaking up just a little bit. Pritchett and Bennett in the backfield. First and goal from the 6-yard line. Wow, this crowd is in shock. This is Bennett on the toss sweep. Bennett, touchdown. Brandon Bennett.
Well, that was a sweep and just good blocking up front. No one laid a hand on Bennett when he went into the end zone. The offensive line just came off with the lead blocker. Let's take a look at it, Mike. That's good blocking. There's Pritchett leading. Oh, excellent protection up front. Oh, they stick it in there and just come off the ball very well.
You ought to see the coach up here in the booth hunkered down. That was a Bill Dooley play, the kickoff special play, and that toss sweep. Reed Morton to attempt the extra point. Lightning is really struck here in Clemson early. 21-7, South Carolina over Clemson. Let's go back and take a look at this kickoff return play. You know they worked on it all week. Here's Brandon Bennett.
He's got the wall set up, throws it over. Wow, look at the blocks made by the people in the wall. There's Benji, the fullback, being blocked, number 40. And watch number 11. Bennett falls right over number 11's back. Nicklow, that's the receiver, Daryl Nicklow, or else he would have scored.
And here's the scoring play. The old simple toss sweep, the fullback leading the way.
But look at the blocking up front, Mike. No one puts a hand on Bennett when he goes into the end zone.
Brandon Bennett. Bennett scoring the touchdown that put the Gamecocks out in front, 21-7. Now it'll be Reed Morton kicking off. Tony Horn is now one of the deep men. Andre Humphrey is alongside him. Andre Williams returned the kickoffs in the first half, and he's been replaced now by Tony Horn. It's going to be Humphrey, I believe, who will make this return. Takes it at the 10. Humphrey with a good spin move across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Chris Abrams on the stop for South Carolina. And the Tigers need to get some offense going here after the quick strike by South Carolina. 21 yards on that kickoff return.
Let's see, Mike, if they come out and open it up a little bit, throw on first down or get the ball out on the perimeter. Because up inside, they've been very, very tough, South Carolina.
Well, in a rival game like this, you don't hold anything back. Average yards on first down, you can see pretty good numbers. But Lamont Pegues doesn't equal that. He gets just a couple. Mike Washington, number 94, and on the stop for South Carolina. Gain of 3, it'll be 2nd and 7 for Clemson. They're trying to get their breath back after what's happened to them early in this second half. Priester and Pegues, the setbacks in the I formation. Green to throw. Green way short on that pass. Tony Watkins dove for it. He was actually the closest one there to it.
Well, that was a sprint out. Nealon Green was sprinting out and ran the curl pattern and just couldn't get the ball in there.
Pass was intended for Tony Horn, but as you saw, way underthrown. And it brings up 3rd and 7. Antoine Wyatt, who has been coming in on third down passing plays in this game, is in the lineup for the Clemson Tigers. Green's pass intended for Crooks. It's way overthrown out of bounds. Nelson Welch will have to come on and punt it away for Clemson. It's 3 and out for the Tigers.
Well, they put in their nickelback, Lee Wiggins, number 27, South Carolina did, and they had a number of people in coverage that time. Didn't have a whole lot of area to throw the football in.
Nelson Welch, 5 punts today. Hit 1 for 50 yards. Has not had a chance to attempt a field goal. Welch really sails this one. Cates thought about calling for a fair catch, decided against it. And makes a pretty good return. He's breaks some tackles, and there goes Toby Cates. One man to beat. And Cates is ridden out of bounds at the 8-yard line, but hold on, there is a flag back at the 35-yard line. Dexter McLean used his speed to run him out of bounds. Let's see if we'll bring this one back.
Well, Mike, they had that wall set up about as pretty as you could get a wall set up. Of course, Toby Cates had the speed to get outside.
Against the white team on the return, 10 yards from the spot.
Watch Cates now as he heads out and gets outside the wall right here. Missed tackle. He's in the wall. And Dexter McLean, number 9. He's going to run him down.
21-7. South Carolina leads Clemson. We're early in the third quarter. This telecast is brought to you in part by Hardee's, your tailgating headquarters and a proud partner with the ACC. First down for South Carolina's Gamecocks. Mike Reddick is back in the backfield, number 25. Now goes out as a wide receiver. No backs with Steve Tannehill. Lots of time, lots of room in front of him. Tannehill all the way across midfield to the Clemson 49-yard line before Tim Jones runs him out of bounds or tackles him after 27 yards on the game. And Steve Tannehill had nobody in front of him.
Well, the reason that play was very effective, Clemson was playing man coverage underneath and had their backs turned to Steve Tannehill. Tannehill broke the rush and just took off running. There was no one seeing him run that football.
Tannehill with Reddick in the backfield. First down. And this is Reddick right up the middle. Reddick only maybe about a yard. Anye McCrory on the stop. Boy, Steve Tannehill has really been impressive in this football game today.
Well, he certainly has. When you recognize man under coverage and those defenders turn their back, I mean, you can just take off, run with the ball. And Tannehill did it.
Duke still out in front of North Carolina at the half, 24-17. Tennessee all over Kentucky in the second quarter. Virginia Tech trailing Virginia. That's at halftime. Our score is 21-7. On second down, Tannehill. He wants it all. Pass is picked off. Brian Dawkins has it. Dawkins with the big play. Has it up to the 40-yard line. There is a penalty flag down. That's second interception off of Steve Tannehill today.
Well, we'll take a look. Clemson's employing the same defense. They're playing man under with the two safeties being free. And there's Dawkins, number 20, comes up with the play. It looks like
one of the wide receivers was called for a penalty on the play of South Carolina, face mask. Looked like it might have been Monty Means, number 80. Louis Solomon now in at quarterback for Clemson, trying to jumpstart the offense. Solomon, a great option quarterback, and he's going to throw it. He tucks it down now. Louis Solomon, who has what they call quick feet, and he shows it there as he runs for a Clemson Tiger first down. Stacey Evans on the stop.
Well, Mike, this is what they've got to do. They've got to come out and loosen up the South Carolina defense. Solomon fakes misdirection. He's looking for a receiver, can't find him, and pulls the ball down. Good blocking out in front. And watch Louis turn it on and get the needed yardage for the first down.
First and 10 at the 33-yard line. This is Pegues. Pegues gets the corner turn. Pegues breaks a tackle. Flag is down. Pegues run out of bounds at the 18-yard line, but there is a flag down.
I believe they're going to call holding on the wide receiver blocking on South Carolina defender. Let's take a look at it. They're getting the ball outside now. This is what you've got to do, is get the ball on the perimeter. Watch Pegues get outside. Let's see if we can see.
There's number 20. During the run by the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, still first down.
That's Guess, Harry Guess, number 21, blocking in the back, downfield.
Well, the penalty, a costly one. Louis Solomon has played part-time this year and is the third leading rusher on this team with 292 yards. Tells you something about his running ability. It'll still be first down as the ball's moved back to the 36-yard line. First and 13 for the Tigers. Solomon on play action. Got a receiver open. Marcus Hinton dropped the football.
He was wide open, Mike, and just dropped the ball right in his hands. Again, Clemson's doing what they need to do. First down, they throw the ball, play action pass. Let's take a look at number 6, Hinton, the wide receiver. Does a good job coming back. Ball's right in there, but he doesn't concentrate on it and drops it.
It'll bring up second down and 13. Hinton comes out of the game now. Kenyon Crooks, the freshman, in to replace him. Fumble. Solomon picks it up, and it'll be no gain. Aubrey Brooks there to cover it up. Sometimes you have a new quarterback in the game. There are problems with the center exchange, but Clemson can ill afford that.
Well, I believe Clemson was going deep that time and fumbled the automatic exchange. Now South Carolina's going to put in their nickel defense. They're sending number 27, Lee Wiggins, in the ball game, anticipating the pass. They're going to defend against the pass.
Well, and Clemson wants to talk about what they're going to run against that nickel defense. They've called timeout with 3rd and 14. The ball's on their own 37-yard line. Our score is 21-7. South Carolina in front of Clemson. We'll be back, but first a word from your local ACC station. There's a look at Nealon Green, who had been talking to the trainer just a moment ago. Came off holding his shoulder a couple of series ago, and no word on whether he's hurt or not, but certainly Louis Solomon's coming there and jump-started the offense a little bit. The quarterback draw here on third down. Good effort by Solomon. Not enough for the first down, but Bill, you might believe that they would go for it and try to get the first down here. They need to keep a drive alive.
Well, I believe they will, and that was a good call by the Clemson offensive staff, a quarterback draw.
And now looks like another penalty. This time a legal procedure against Clemson is going to negate the nice gain by Louis Solomon. It'll make it even tougher.
formation against the offense. They had 5 men in the backfield. Still third down.
We have word that Nealon Green did re-injure that shoulder. You know, he partially separated it a couple of weeks ago, and it had not been full strength. We don't know if he'll return, but Lewis Solomon at the controls right now. The 5'10" junior from Somerset, New Jersey. And he's got a tough order. Third down and 18 yards to go. Solomon with Hinton.
What a catch!
Marcus Hinton stretched out for that one. The junior from Powder Springs, Georgia. And you know the knock on Solomon is he's not a good passer, but that time he laid the ball right on the money.
Well, that was a great move.
And now they're calling it incomplete, I believe.
Here it is. Watch Hinton go up in the air and come down with the ball.
And there you see the ball did hit the ground. Great call by the official. You bounced out, but you can't fault Marcus Hinton. What an effort. Nelson Welch trying to pin South Carolina deep, and it goes into the end zone. Touchback. Let's take a look again at Marcus Hinton. What an effort.
He really stretches out, but there you see the ball come right out of his hands, Mike.
The winner of our season-long Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl getaway promotion is Norman Epps from Durham, North Carolina. He has won a trip for two, including game tickets, hotel, and airfare. Congratulations to Norman Epps of Durham. He's headed to the Gator Bowl. In all probability, we'll see an ACC team there. First down now for the South Carolina Gamecocks. 20-yard line. They lead 21-7. This is Bennett. Bennett spinning his way close to the 30-yard line. Andre Carter makes the stop, but not before Bennett gains 9 yards on the play.
Well, he just cut this one back, Mike. And again, the offensive line of South Carolina just comes off the ball and opens a good crease for Brandon Bennett.
Bennett now with 47 yards rushing on 12 carries. Some movement on the interior of the line. We'll see if Clemson was drawn off or if they jump first.
That's defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
As we had said earlier, I believe Tannehill's just changing up the cadence a little bit and making Clemson jump off sides.
Number 92, Brett Williams, is the one who jumped offside. That gives it first down for South Carolina. And again, this is Bennett. Bennett, who's starting to get a little momentum here, gets a couple before Mike Barber stops him, one of those fine senior linebackers for the Clemson Tigers. Bill, how much movement is an offensive player allowed before a penalty is called, particularly thinking about the quarterback?
Well, the quarterback can move only his head and shoulders a little bit, but not to simulate the start of a play. It's his voice that changes, makes him jump.
Tannehill dropped the football, got it back, and he has got all kinds of time. An eternity. Oh, my. Monty Means had touchdown written all over that ball, but he couldn't hold on to it. And that play was made by the fact of the offensive line giving Steve Tannehill all kinds of time.
Well, just give credit to the good protection and also give credit to Steve Tannehill not losing his poise. He hangs in there, and watch this ball. It's right on the money. Gee, he'd like to have that one back. I don't know how many times. That was Means, number 80, dropping the ball.
It's now 3rd and 7. Tannehill's 0 for 2 in this half. Can't fault Steve on that last one. Tannehill again with lots of room in front of him. He's got the first down and more. Tannehill showing some mobility, gets down close to the 30-yard line before Raymond White stopped him. Steve Tannehill is finding lots of running room there.
Well, again, it's an idea that the rush, watch the rush, come inside. There's no one out there to contain Tannehill. This was a quarterback run all the way. Number 80 makes an excellent block to spring him loose. Number 80 Means.
Monty Means, the one who dropped that pass a moment ago, makes up for it and says, Steve, hey, I'll throw a block for you anyway. First down at the 31-yard line. This is Bennett out of the eye. Bennett down close to the 26 before Wardell Rouse is able to corral him. And now South Carolina's starting to get that 5-6 yards on first down, which gives them a lot of options for the rest of the series.
Well, it certainly does, because when you get the good yardage on first down, then you're in command. You run the plays that you want to run.
Steve Tannehill may have twisted an ankle on that run. He is limping a little bit and in some pain out there, trying to gut it out right now on 2nd and 5. Gives to his fullback, Pritchett. Pritchett close to a first down around the 20-yard line. Tim Jones on the stop. Tannehill walking off the effects of that tackle a moment ago.
Mike, I've been impressed by the offensive line of South Carolina. They've been able to move the Clemson defensive line back, which has made their offense very effective.
Steve Tannehill has 58 yards rushing this half. You saw number 73 there a moment ago. That's Vincent Dinkins. He's the leader on that offensive line. And you see that's about how far they got to go for a first down. 3rd and maybe 6 inches. Steve Tannehill, who has really matured over the last year, came in here on this field as a freshman, passed South Carolina to a win over Clemson. Matter of fact, the last 3 years, the team that's on the road has won this great rival game. 3rd and a couple of inches for the Gamecocks. Ball's at the 21-yard line. Well, the play clock was just about to run out, and so Tannehill calls timeout.
Very wisely, Mike, he called timeout.
You don't want it to be 3rd and 5, and it can be 3rd and about 6 inches. So a smart move by Steve Tannehill to call timeout. Tannehill, who, as we said, has, yeah, you may remember that's in reference to the long hair and the ponytail that he had a couple of years, but you don't see that now. And Brad Scott says that he really likes this quarterback, Steve Tannehill, and really enjoys working with him and is really proud of how far he has come this season, maturing and being a real leader of this football team, not only by his playmaking, but a leader in the huddle as well.
Well, they said he's become a real student of the game, Mike, that he studies film a great deal, and that, as you mentioned, has assumed a leadership role with his teammates. And that's what you're looking for at quarterback.
Well, Tannehill now, after making the smart call when the play clock are about to run out, 3rd and a couple of inches for a Gamecock first down. They are driving the balls at the 21-yard line. The big play, a Tannehill run. This is Pritchett, the fullback. He's got the first down and about a yard to spare. Stanley Pritchett, who has a touchdown today. That was just one of those straight ahead.
Take a look at it. He just breaks it outside. He finds that little crease outside, Mike. And as you mentioned, he gets about a yard and a half more than what's needed for the first down.
Now you're inside the red zone again, inside that 20. And now's where the Clemson Tiger defense really has to rise up. Can ill afford to be down 28-7. This is Bennett. Bennett's game tackled at about the 18. Tim Jones leading the way along with the rest of that linebacker core, and Lamarick Simpson up front as well, Carlos Curry. Let's take a check of some scores of other games. Florida Vanderbilt, scoreless first quarter. Ohio State out in front of Michigan. That's in the 3rd quarter. Big rival game there. Tennessee all over the Kentucky Wildcats in the 3rd quarter, 24-0. Our score is 21-7. South Carolina's threatening. 2nd down and 9. Play action, Tannehill. Wanted to screen one way, now comes back to Pritchett on the right side. Pritchett inside the 10 to the 9 has his helmet knocked off by Brian Dawkins, who's a real headhunter.
Well, that was a very effective play. Pritchett just takes a screen pass. Let's take a look at it. Tannehill looks him off, throws over to number 39, Pritchett on the screen. Watch the block by number 76, And Vincent Dimkins is out in front, but can't make the block. Number 76 was Herring.
Delvin Herring, the left guard, as you said, Bill, made one of the key blocks on that play. It is now 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Tannehill sends both receivers, top of your screen. Pritchett and Bennett in the backfield behind him. Tannehill to throw. Overshoots Toby Cates. Just off his fingertips. Good coverage on the play from Brian Dawkins.
Well, this is something new that they've employed, putting Toby Cates inside in the slot. Normally he's been the outside man, and they've been getting the kind of matchups that they want. Of course, they had it against Dawkins, number 20, the strong safety.
This is the 11th play of this drive. It's really eaten up a lot of clock here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line. Pritchett up the middle.
No room on that one.
Carlos Curry, the middle guard, was there.
Clemson defense really stiffened on that particular play. The defensive front didn't allow any running room at all for Carlos Pritchett.
Big 3rd down play here. Clemson would love to hold them to a field goal try here. 3rd and 7. 3rd and goal. Mike Reddick is back in the game in the backfield. He's been coming in on passing situations for South Carolina. Tannehill across the middle. Monty Means, the pass was thrown slightly behind him, and Means could not come up with the grab.
Well, Clemson that time sent in their nickel defense, but they blitzed from it. That was a change of pace. There's Tannehill, good, gets his hands up. Excellent play by the Clemson defensive lineman. He got his hands up as Tannehill cocked his arm, knocks the ball away.
Well, Reed Morton will come on and try a field goal of 24 yards. He is 5 of 6 from 29 and in. Morton's kick is good and put another 3 on the board for South Carolina. The Gamecocks now lead the Tigers 24-7 in this great rivalry, the battle for bragging rights in the Palmetto State. Preparing to kick off now. Tony Horn and Andre Humphrey stand back deep to receive it for the Clemson Tigers. Tigers trail it now 24-7. Kick is high and short. Pooch kick taken up at the 32-yard line. Fumble. I believe South Carolina may have it.
I believe you're right, Mike.
Chris Alford is being credited with the recovery here.
Let's take a look at it. He drops the ball. He doesn't have control of it. And watch number 17, Chris Alford, come up with it.
And that's Brad Pope, who fumbled the football, number 31 for Clemson. There's also an injured Tiger down. Matt Reeves is injured on the field at the moment. A big, big break. And you know, turnovers have been something that Clemson has not done all season long, and we've seen a couple of them here today.
Well, it's unbelievable.
That scoring drive, 13 plays, 73 yards, all but 10 of it on the ground. Reed Morton, a 24-yard field goal. And Clemson's defense is going to be called on again to rise up. As you see Matt Reeves, who was involved in that pileup trying to dive for the ball when the ball popped loose out of the arms of Brad Pope, who was one of the up backs. And I guess that's one of the advantages of those pooch kicks, Bill, is you try to get somebody who isn't really used to handling the football all that much to catch it and have to run it back.
Well, that's exactly right. And if they're too close to you, what you need to do is signal for a fair catch, and they will get to give you 2 yards to catch that football. Mike, you talked earlier about the turnover margin. Clemson is plus 18 in turnovers, and all of a sudden in this ball game they've come up and they commit 2 turnovers. They lead the nation in turnovers right now. Lead the nation in turnovers, and they've had 2 fumbles 2 turnovers in this ball game. Not characteristic of a Clemson football team.
No, it's not, and the turnovers have come back to haunt him, so to speak, as a nice hand for Matt Reeves, the junior from Anderson, South Carolina. Here comes the Gamecock offense. This home-standing Tiger crowd imploring the defense to come up with a stand here. Ball's at the 25-yard line. First down. To Bennett. Bennett to throw it again. He wants Tannehill. I mean, they are pulling every play out of the book today.
All of them, but did you see Andre Humphries? He was right there on that coverage.
I'm not sure how often Steve Tannehill's been a wide receiver, too.
Let's take a look at it. There's Bennett throwing out, and watch Humphries right there, number 34. He almost made the interception on that football.
Well, Brandon Bennett has shown us he can not only catch the football and run the football. There you see Humphrey. He can throw it as well. And again, we have movement up front, and the yellow flags fly.
Again, that's a case of Tannehill changing his voice inflection, making the defense jump.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty.
Well, you called it, Bill. And I guess if the voice count is starting to really pull people off sides, if you keep going with those long snap counts.
Well, you can see right there in the picture, the rerun.
Second down, right up the middle, the fullback. Wardell Rouse is on the stop of Brandon Bennett, rather, who had the football. It will not be a first down. It will be third down and a couple of yards. And this is a big play right here for the Clemson defense. Maybe the play of the football game. 3rd and 3. The ball's at the 19-yard line. Tannehill changing the play. Gives to the fullback, Pritchett. And I think Pritchett might be a little bit short.
I think he is too, Mike. It'll be about a yard.
Mike Barber in on the stop along with Raymond White, number 97. Let's see if I think Reed Morton's going to be coming on the field, the field goal kicker. Morton is on the field. Morton will try a 33-yard attempt. From 30 to 39 yards. He's only tried 2 this year and hit 1 of them. 33 yards out. Reed Morton try to put another 3 on the board for South Carolina. And he does. Reed Morton 2 for 2 in this game in field goals. And South Carolina now extends its lead 27-7. Still, though, Clemson 3 scores away from taking the lead. And with 2:59 to go, 3rd quarter, that is not impossible. There you get a look at Reed Morton, who has played well today. Boston College leading West Virginia by a field goal in the 3rd quarter. Other scores, Penn State all over Northwestern, 38-3 in the 2nd quarter. Our phone number is 1-900-267-5757 for score updates. $1 per minute. You must be 18. Kids, get your parents' permission if you want to call and check on some scores going on today. Well, the Clemson Tigers will again send Humphrey and Horn back deep. With Brad Scott around his kicking team, and you wonder what play they're coming up with now. Boy, the special teams have really made a difference today for South Carolina. And this goes to show again that this football game is not only offense and defense. Special teams play a big role, as you see some of the defenders of Clemson trying to figure out a way to shut down that South Carolina offense.
Well, the special teams is 1/3 of the game, Mike. You know, you have to give credit to the Clemson defense that they have kept South Carolina, when they've had that ball down deep, from getting touchdowns. They've forced them and made them kick field goals. So that's a tribute to the South Carolina defense, really.
It'll be interesting to see here if Reed Morton will again try another pooch kick. Emery Smith is in now as one of those up backs. And it is another pooch kick. This time there's a fair catch called for, and it will be made by Brad Pope, number 31.
Well, that was a good move by Polk. That's exactly what you need to do, because they're coming right down on top of you with no time to make a decision.
And now a tough road for the Clemson offense, down 20 points. And again, it's Louis Solomon at quarterback, the junior from Somerset, New Jersey, who showed some pretty good arm strength in the last series. But it's been a while since the Clemson offense has had the football. Play action to Pegues. Big rush. Ball comes loose, but it's ruled an incomplete pass. Stacey Evans, who has been the real star on that defensive line for South Carolina, number 93, the senior from Lawrence, South Carolina.
Well, they put quite a rush on Solomon. Stacey Evans and Chris Rump, number 58, were back there. That was a play-action pass, and I believe he was going deep with it.
Solomon 0 for 3 throwing the football now. 2nd and 10 from the 31-yard line. Solomon in the shotgun. And he's going to tuck it down and run it. There is a flag down. Solomon across the 35, but let's wait a minute. What Al Ford has to tell us. Stacey Evans was in on the stop of Louis Solomon. Boy, it's just not going Clemson's way at all right now. Illegal procedure.
Let's take a look at it. You can't see it, but they've used this formation twice, and they've had 2 penalties each time they've used it. They had a long quarterback draw by Louis Solomon, which was called back, and then this play, of course.
Tackle's not squared up on the line of scrimmage. The illegal formation, still 2nd down.
One reason the score is 27-7. Look at this yards in the second half. Take a look at that. 104-22. South Carolina with the advantage. Wow. 2.5 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. 2nd down, 15. And again the rush. This time it's Chris Rump.
Well, he beat the block of number 27, the fullback Priester, and Rump just went right around him. And we mentioned Stacey Evans and Chris Rump. Let's take a look at it. Number 58, watch number 27, the fullback from Clemson, could not sustain his block, and Rump just comes in and sacks Louis Solomon. Excellent play by the defensive end, Chris Dunn.
It's tough to sustain that block when you got a guy as quick as Chris Rump is.
And is strong too, Mike.
Yeah. 3rd down and 22. That's Antoine Wyatt with the football, who was in on the 3rd and long situation. He's way short of the 1st down. And the Gamecock faithful who are here are on their feet at that defensive hold by South Carolina. There you see part of the garnet-clad crowd here today. Tickets hard to come by to this big rival matchup. Over 85,000 are here. There's Toby Cates waiting to receive Nelson Welch's punt. Oh, Nelson nails it. Cates takes it back at the 16-yard line. Toby Cates, flags down. Cates. 3 flags are down. I think this run is going to come all the way back.
Well, you can see the clip or the hit in the back. Of course, you got to give a lot of credit to Toby Cates, and he can really turn it on and get on the corner. Well, let's take a look at it. There's Cates. Now watch the clip right coming up in your screen, right there, right in the back of the Clemson defender. Couldn't get the number on him. Whoa. But Cates did a good job of getting the ball outside to the wall.
Toby Cates going to be a tired young man at the end of this day, even if those runs come back 54 yards on this run.
There's the block right there in the back. It brings the play back. Well, Cates is a big play football player, Mike. What can you say? Receiving, running, they want to get the ball in his hand.
Well, South Carolina will have the ball, and instead of way down in Clemson territory, they're going to have it back in their own 15-yard line. 1:06 left, 3rd quarter. Clemson needs a big rally and a defensive stop to get back in this game. Tannehill gives it to his bread and butter man, Brandon Bennett. Mike Barber is there along with Darnell Stevens. Stevens makes the initial hit.
Well, South Carolina will probably run the ball a little more, trying to eat up some clock and giving the ball to Brandon Bennett and Pritchett, the big fullback.
Clemson has won 5 of the last 6 games between these two schools. Right now, though, South Carolina is holding the big edge. Second down. And about 6 yards to go. Right up the middle. It's Pritchett. Wow. Some strong bruising running by Stanley Pritchett. He's got a South Carolina first down. Darnell Stevens brought him down, but not before Stanley Pritchett, 230-pound junior out of College Park, Georgia, gets a first down.
Mike, that's what you call attacking the tacklers. Watch Pritchett. That's good hold, but he runs through those arms, and watch those feet keep moving. They can't bring him down. That's good, tough running.
And that will be the final play of the third quarter as the clock winds down. It has been all South Carolina here in this second half. The Gamecocks are leading the Clemson Tigers 27-7 as we head to quarter number 4. Mike Hogwood and Bill Dooley back with you at Tiger Stadium. It's 27-7 as we head to the fourth period of play. South Carolina on offense, 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Steve Tannehill had a great game today, quarterback. On the toss sweep, this is Bennett again. Up across the 30, right at the 31-yard line and out of bounds. The Lee Apparel game summary now after 3 quarters. And that reflects the scoreboard. South Carolina leading in rushing, and the passing is way, way out of balance.
Well, complete dominance by South Carolina, both running and throwing.
27-7. 2nd and 7 after the 3-yard run by Brandon Bennett. This is Bennett again, and just as you said, Bill, South Carolina's going to start working him a lot right now. Marvin Cross on the stop for Clemson. Not before about a 4-yard gain on the part of Brandon Bennett.
Well, I have been impressed with the offensive line of South Carolina.
Look at this. North Carolina now pulls in front of Duke, 31-24 in the third quarter. Tennessee shutting out Kentucky also in the third. And Virginia with the lead on Virginia Tech Hokies, 25-16. 3rd and 2 for a Gamecock first down. Again, the toss sweep, Brandon Bennett. And it's close to the first down. I'm not sure he got it. Brian Dawkins tripped him up. You know where they spot the football. Bennett was 70 yards rushing today. If he gets to 100, it's almost a magic number for South Carolina. When Brandon Bennett has rushed for 100 yards, South Carolina is 10-0. They've never lost a game when Brandon Bennett has run for over 100. Let's see how he made it a first down. Got just enough.
Well, he had the speed to get outside of Rouse, number 13. They logged Rouse in, and he got outside.
Even though it's early fourth quarter, if Clemson hopes to get back in this game, the defense needs to come up with a stop or a turnover here. Don't want a long drive now. And again, this is Bennett, and Bennett is into the secondary, across midfield, and down to the 49-yard line. Another strong run by Brandon Bennett. Brian Dawkins makes the stop, but not before the Taylor, South Carolina senior gets another Gamecock first down.
Well, again, the offensive line, look at the hole they're opened up in there. The first person to touch was Barber, number 12, and that was about 9 or 10 yards down the field. So the offensive line does a tremendous job blocking for Brandon Bennett.
Now 85 yards rushing for Brandon Bennett. 1 touchdown today. That came early here in the second half. This is the fullback Pritchett, and he's got some running room. A gain of 9 up the middle. Vaughn Wilson on the stop for 42 for Clemson. Stanley Pritchett up the middle. Gives South Carolina a situation coaches love. It'd be 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2. Pritchett with 51 yards rushing today. And who knows, we might see a smile on Brad Scott's face before long here. 2nd and 2 for the Gamecocks. Bennett right around the 40-yard line. Don't think he got first down yardage. Wardell Rouse on the stopper. But that clock will continue to roll.
Well, that's the whole idea, Mike. They want to give the ball to their runners to eat that clock and keep it rolling.
9th play of the drive, and that's what you want when you're up by 3 scores. You want to sustain a drive and get that clock really running, as you said. It'll be 3rd and very short. About 1 yard to go for a first down. Right up the middle, Pritchett. He's close. Brett Williams, number 92, among the first to hit him for the Clemson Tiger defenders. And it will be 4th down. What do you do here, Bill? Do you go for it and keep this drive going?
Well, with that kind of lead, I'd play it safe and kick it. Try to kick them into a hole and make them go the long way.
Brad Scott was listening to you. He sends his punter, Marty Simpson, on the field.
Number 34, Andre Humphrey, back deep for the Tigers.
Simpson, of course, will be trying to angle this punt and pin Clemson back deep. Well, the ball hit about the 2 or 3 yard line and then went into the end zone. 40-yard punt for Simpson. South Carolina leads 27-7. Clemson will have the football when we come back. Mike Hogwood and Bill Dooley back with you in Clemson, South Carolina. You're looking at the famous hill and the ways to get down at those box races. That's not a bad deal. Hey, Louis Solomon to pass, and he has got a completion out to his tight end, Ed Glenn. That's only his 3rd catch of the season. Tells you how much the Clemson goes to the tight end in the air. And Campbell on the stop for South Carolina. You were mentioning a moment ago, Bill, that this is the time for Clemson's offense right now. If they're to get in this football game, they have got to go and get some points.
Well, they've got to have a big play. They've got to have a momentum changer and just get it going. Make something good happen.
In a 4 on that play. Benji Wood is in at fullback now for the Tigers. Here's Solomon to throw. Overshoots Lamont Pegues, and I mean he was nailed by Ronnie Smith, number 50. And Ronnie Smith has a few things to say there a moment ago to Lamont Pegues.
Well, Chris Rump was putting the pressure on. Watch number 58 come right in the face of Louis Solomon. Oh, what a sound. I could hear it up in the press box.
Solomon 1 out of 5 for 4 yards since replacing Milan Green. Now 3rd down, 6 yards to go for a Tiger first down, and here comes Louis Solomon. Solomon's got the first down across the 30. Flags fly. Terry Cousin making the stop. Solomon has what looks to be a first down.
Face mask, added on to the end of the run, first down.
This is a quarterback draw. This is run all the way. Lamont Pegues makes a good block. Number 7 comes in. There's a good block, and Lewis breaks outside and makes the first down.
And you saw there Terry Cousin. Okay, Mr. Tiger. Terry Cousin, who was had his hand on the face mask of Louis Solomon. First down up at the 40-yard line. Again out of the shotgun. Solomon will throw this time. Throws behind his intended receiver, Antoine Wyatt. A little miscommunication there between Solomon and Wyatt. Tony Horn bringing the play in from Clyde Christensen and Rick Stockstill, the offensive coaches. Tommy West trying to come up with something in the playbook to get that ball down the field. Clemson now with 4 wideouts and Solomon in the shotgun. Solomon is going deep. Horn was well covered on the play by Cousin. And the ball was not thrown anywhere near the receiver. Some scores: Florida over Vanderbilt 10-7. A little tough for the Gators today. Maryland trying to come back. They were down 21-3 to Syracuse. Tennessee still pouring it on the Wildcats in Knoxville this afternoon. 38-0 in the third quarter.
You know, Mike, Stacey Evans and Chris Rump are so fast off the ball, the Clemson tackles don't have time to set back before they're back in the backfield, putting the pressure on the quarterback.
Solomon will go again and again. He's going to try to tuck it down, and this time David Turnipseed, number 91, is there to sniff it out. It's almost that time like South Carolina knew that play was coming.
This is Solomon out of the shotgun. Watch Turnipseed, number 91, fight off the blockers, the Clemson blockers, and peel out and pick up Solomon on the quarterback draw.
8th punt of the day for Nelson Welch. Daryl Nicklow is back deep, replacing Toby Cates, who has had quite a workout running back kicks. It's a Clemson roll, and will roll dead at about the 18-yard line. 8:57 left to play in this football game. It's been all South Carolina in the second half. Gamecocks lead the Tigers 27-7. Fourth quarter of this big rival matchup. South Carolina out in front by 20. They've got it 1st and 10 at their 18-yard line. Tannehill to throw on first down. Completes it to Means up around the 28-yard line, close to a first down. Andre Humphrey rode Monty Means out of bounds.
Mike, I believe he checked to that. He saw Clemson gonna blitz, and he just had a little 3-step drop out to Means, number 80, and that kept that pressure off.
It's good for 9 yards, 2nd and 1. Not many things South Carolina has done wrong today. This is Bennett. First down yardage across the 35. Flag is down. Brian Dawkins again makes the tackle. He's been involved in a lot of plays on that Clemson defense today.
I believe it's illegal motion. Let's see.
On the offense on the run, 10 yards from the spot. Still second down.
Well, Steve Tannehill will have to come up with something else to try to achieve a first down. It'll still be second down. The 10-yard penalty will make it about 2nd and 10. Maybe 2nd and 11, we'll call it. Again, right up the middle, this is Pritchett. What a hole, Pritchett. A lot of daylight, first down and then some, up to about the 39-yard line before Dawkins and Humphrey can stop him. But Stanley Pritchett has found a lot of positive running room right up the middle.
Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator, is really high on Pritchett. What a hole by the offensive line of South Carolina. And Pritchett takes advantage of it.
20 yards on the run by Stanley Pritchett. And Brian Dawkins was shaken up on the play. He's just gotten up. It was a fierce hit as he tried to bring Pritchett down. As you look at Stanley Pritchett, the junior from College Park, Georgia, and there's Dawkins coming off the field. Says, Pam will be okay. Got to shake that arm off a little bit. Let me back in there, Adam. Pritchett today, 13 carries, 70 yards. Good day for both running backs, Stanley Pritchett and Brandon Bennett of South Carolina. This is Bennett again on the toss sweep.
Another flag.
Tim Jones on the stop. Looks like some really high tackling out there, and
let's take a look at it. South Carolina pulls everyone. Oh, single wing toss sweep. There's a face mask, I believe, right there. Unintentional, but it looked like Jones, 56, had his hand on his face mask, Mike.
Indeed, Tim Jones, who made the tackle. You start tackling a little high like that, sometimes it inadvertently, and you get that face mask. And it's a very costly penalty for the Clemson Tigers. The ball's all the way down to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. South Carolina starting to mount another drive. This is Bennett for a couple to the 38. Wardell Rouse on the stop.
Tackle by number 13.
Well, all they're going to do now is just eat that clock. Just give it to those backs, Pritchett and Bennett, and let the clock run and hope the change moves.
Well, the clock's running towards 7 minutes right now, 7:10 and counting. 2nd and 7 after the 3-yard run by Brandon Bennett. He's got 94 yards on this day. Again, now the toss sweep again, this time to the left side. Bennett goes over the 100-yard mark down to the 21-yard line. A gain of 16 on the play for Brandon Bennett.
They call this student body left and right. That's Bennett going up in there. Good blocking. Oh, excellent blocking by the fullback, the lead back, and the pulling guard.
That was your favorite play when you were coaching, wasn't it?
Student body left and right.
Brandon Bennett now with 110 yards, and remember that South Carolina has never lost when Brandon Bennett has run for over 100 yards in a game. 1st down, and this is Pritchett up the middle. First one and then the other. Darnell Stevens on the stop, but that clock continues to run, and now approaching 6 minutes as South Carolina is sustaining quite a drive. And again, let's keep you updated on some of these other games going on. West Virginia winning by just a point over Boston College in the 4th quarter. Tennessee has scored another touchdown. Leads the Wildcats in quarter number 3. Virginia has really piling on the points. 35-16 now over the Hokies. And also in the 4th quarter. Our score is 27-7, and South Carolina is driving again. Another score was really sweet. Bennett stays in bounds. That clock will keep running. Picks up a couple of yards. Andre Humphrey and Darnell Stevens on the stop. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go.
Humphrey is really supported from his cornerback position, coming up, making some big hits. I like the way he tackles. He really comes up and delivers a blow on the ball carrier.
Toby Cates has come back into the game. He has been out for much of this series. And for this 3rd and 4 play, Tannehill from the shotgun. Tannehill with the little screen to Pritchett. He's got a 1st down. He's at the 5. Pulls his way to the 3-yard line. Stanley Pritchett. Andre Carter stopping him, but not before the College Park, Georgia junior picks up a 1st down and goal to go for South Carolina.
Well, this looked like a sprint pass out of the shotgun, and now he's going to come right back to his fullback, Pritchett. Good blocking out in front. Excellent block by number 68. That's Dexter.
James Dexter, number 68, with a great block. And you give credit to this whole offensive line for South Carolina. They've had a fantastic day today. Toss sweep, here's Bennett going for his 2nd touchdown. He's got it! Flag is down as Bennett gets in the end zone. Now we'll bring it back, and the touchdown will be nullified, I believe.
Back by the offense is 10 yards from the goal line, still be 1st down.
So it'll be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line as you mark off the penalty from where it occurred, and the block happened right at the goal line. Let's see if we can see it.
I think it's a wide receiver out there. 76.
It was Delvin Herring, the left guard, who committed the foul and blocking in the back. First and goal from the 10-yard line. And here comes Coach Dooley's favorite play. Student body left. This time there's a fumble. Reggie Alexander, number 30, looked like he recovered it for South Carolina. Marvin Cross caused the fumble, number 91 of Clemson, with a big hit on Brandon Bennett. Got it right on the football.
This is a sweep to the left. There's where the ball pops loose.
See, Cross just knocked it right out.
Right there.
When you're in this situation, you start tackling the football, and that time it worked for Clemson. They just didn't recover the fumble. Reddick off the reverse. Flags down again. And that will not go for positive yardage. Toby Cates tackled for a loss by Wardell Rouse. There's a flag at the 25-yard line, and South Carolina is moving in the wrong direction.
Well, that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to stop that clock, and they've stopped it several times with penalties.
Flip. On the offensive team, the penalties declined. Third down.
You know, Mike, South Carolina has two versatile backs, Brandon Bennett and Pritchett. Those guys not only run well, but also they can catch the ball.
The clip you saw there on the top of the screen was on Steve Tannehill, who was trying to throw that block. The quarterback, I'd give quarterback an A for effort trying to throw the block like that, though, but he was called for clipping. Tannehill gonna be sacked. Raymond White, number 97, the freshman from Clinton, Mississippi. A loss of 12 yards, but the bad news for Clemson is that clock is winding down now. 2:18 and counting. It will bring up fourth down and goal to go from the 37-yard line. And the clock continues to run. We're at 2 minutes now.
I imagine, Mike, they're going to let it run down and probably get a 5-yard penalty, delay, and then kick the ball.
I don't think a 5-yard penalty would upset anybody on the South Carolina side at this point. And that's exactly what happens. 1:42 left. The 5-yard penalty for delay of game, and South Carolina will no doubt punt it away. Clemson will have one last shot. Saw there the sign held up, state champs, which is what this battle is all about, bragging rights for the next year. And Bill, I find it amazing that the road team continues to play so well in this game. Now the fourth year in a row that the team on the road has won the game.
Well, that's unusual, very unusual. You would think because of the crowd noise here in Clemson that they would have the advantage, but that's not true. And certainly not true in Columbia.
Nobody back deep for Clemson, and Simpson will try to put it away. Out of bounds. Got it out of bounds, okay. Straight out of bounds. Hit a photographer in the head. That's about a 4 or 5 yard punt, wasn't it? Now Clemson will have one shot to get another score on the board. 1:35 left. They trail by 20. Gamecocks add another 6 points onto the scoreboard.
Well, it looks like another tip drill, Mike. Solomon's back to pass, intended for 19, right off of his fingertips, and there's number 49. He takes it in for the score.
Benji Young.
And it's just another tip drill. Good concentration on the football.
Lewis Solomon, 1 out of 8 today, 1 interception, 1 out of 8 for 4 yards. Not near the offense that Lewis had hoped for when he came in the game. Mark Saylor, number 15, will now attempt the extra point. He's a senior, getting in the game, in this game that means so much to the people of this state. Always be able to say, hey, I played the day we beat Clemson. Saylor's extra point attempt is blocked. Brian Dawkins, not giving up, playing to the last play of the game, comes through and blocks the extra point attempt. And there are some words being exchanged down on the field. Now 33 53-7.
This is a tip pass, number 19, right in his hands, and it just bounces out. I mean, it's one of those things that Barry Young is just alert and picks up the ball that was intended for wide.
Benji Young with the touchdown. Well, let's tell you about our players of the game. And I think Steve Tannehill certainly had a great game. So did Brandon Bennett. But Toby Cates, 4 big catches for 84 yards and a big touchdown to get the offense going. And Brian Dawkins, who we just saw blocking the extra point, he really played hard the whole game today.
Well, he did. He hasn't given up. You know, one thing we need to mention is Toby Cates getting outside on those punt returns. Those could have been 2 big plays in the ball game.
Well, you saw Brad Scott a little wet there, and that wasn't all from perspiration today. Yeah, he's had the traditional bucket of water poured on him. Why not? He's got to be happy finishing his first season in South Carolina with a winning record, now headed to a bowl game in all probability. The CarQuest Bowl seems to be where South Carolina would go if they won today. Mark Saylor, who had that extra point attempt blocked, will kick off. Saylor, the senior from Barnwell, South Carolina. And again, a fair catch is called for by Brad Pope. That's the second one he's made of those today. And the South Carolina faithful still here cheering on their team out in front, 33-7. 57 seconds left to play in this great rivalry, which will be talked about, discussed, and dissected over the next 12 months until they meet again in Columbia next year this time.
Well, as you mentioned, it's bragging rights and also recruiting rights.
Yeah. We saw a look down the disappointed Clemson sideline. Solomon. And Solomon trying to run. There's just nowhere to go this time. Henry Taylor, backup defensive tackle, making the stop. Clemson passing today, 5 out of 19, 56 yards. Not what they needed to have a winning performance.
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to the defensive ends of South Carolina really putting the pressure on the quarterback.
Solomon up on, boy, that ball floated on him. Pass was intended for Tony Pursuit, who was in the game. Receiver position. Lee Wiggins breaks it up. That ball just floated.
Watch Lee Wiggins go over the back of the receiver, number 27. Here it is. Wiggins going up over his shoulders, playing that ball, and that's perfectly legal because as a defender, you're entitled to the ball as much as a receiver.
Not what we call a tight spiral on that pass.
It was a little floater.
Now 10 seconds. This will be the last play of the football game. 28 seconds, rather. We'll have another one. The clock is running. Clemson's going to have to hurry up, but they stop the clock now. There is a flag on the play. Brad Scott, boy, he's got to enjoy this. Coming in after 11 seasons working with Bobby Bowden at Florida State, taking over this program.
Over, dead ball foul against the team, first down.
And now taking them to a bowl game. Had a good year in the SEC, tied for second in the Southeastern Conference Eastern Division. Says he knows it's going to take a couple of years to get where he really wants to be. And wow, now we've got some students storming the field. I don't know if we will get another playoff. Louis Solomon. And that's it. Football game is over. The battle for bragging rights in this year had been won by South Carolina. The victory ride for Brad Scott, Gamecocks head coach. There comes some ice and water, and here come the students down on the field. That's a mob scene out there. 33-7 the final. We talked about big plays. Big plays were the difference in this football game. We'll come back to Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina. Final score, Gamecocks win at 33-7.
Tonight, Gamecock fans are still celebrating the Gamecocks' win over Clemson at this hour, savoring the thrill of victory. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for Nightcast. It's been 6 long years, but USC is now bowl-bound thanks to their victory over Clemson in Death Valley. The Gamecocks have earned bragging rights in the state of South Carolina, and football fever is burning in Columbia as fans continue to celebrate. We caught up with these fans at Sharkies and 5 Points tonight, still celebrating today's victory and toasting the Gamecocks.
Oh man, they killed them. It was great. It was a very good victory for our program. It's up and coming, and it's just the sign of things to come in the future.
Well, today's victory puts the Gamecocks record at 6-5 and qualifies them for a bowl bid, and they'll most likely receive an invitation to the CarQuest Bowl in Miami on January 2nd. Rick Henry will have more on their victory and the bowl game coming up in sports.
Huge play, and considering Brad Scott's background at Florida State, it wasn't all that much unexpected, but it certainly was big. Yeah, I am talking about the second half kickoff. Brandon Bennett stops and pops. Across the field he goes. Reggie Richardson has it, and the blocking is there. Takes off, the race is on, one man to beat, and he trips over his own man, Daryl Nicklau, but it's down to the 6-yard line.
Great play. That's one of the old plays Alabama play.
Well, just a little bit of too much of Bobby Bowden in me, I guess. We've been practicing that play for a long time. It wasn't something that we just put in. Our kids have a lot of confidence in it. We just never got in a game situation where it was ever close enough to use it. It was a big momentum change in the game. Probably that was probably the key to the football game, was being able to take a quick score in like that at the beginning of the third quarter.
How quickly did they score? Very next play. Brandon Bennett untouched from 6 yards out. And from 14-7, we go to 21-7 in just 2 very quick plays. And then the next time the Cocks get it, they're looking for more. But Tannehill overthrows Kurt Fedrick. Brian Dawkins is there for the interception. He returns it, and Tommy West makes a change. Nealon Green is out. He is going with Louis Solomon at quarterback now. But again, nothing going for the Tigers. Solomon is not the spark plug that's going to get this team on track. Here, he fumbles it, lucky to recover it. So they're forced to punt again. Carolina from their own 37. Tannehill. Look at Tannehill. Yes, Tannehill. Bobbing and weaving down to Clemson's 31. That leads to a Reed Morton 24-yard field goal to make it 24-7 as the Cocks go 73 yards in 13 plays and tack on 3 more points. Clemson gets the ball back on the kickoff. It's a little short pooch job. It is fumbled. Chris Alford comes up with it, number 17 to the right of your screen. So Carolina's knocking on the door again. Again, the Clemson defense stiffens, but the Cocks will get 3 more. This time it's Morton from 33 yards, and it's 27-7 at the end of 3. Clemson's running is not going to do it. They're going to have to go up top, and Carolina's ready. David Turnipseed gets the sack there on Solomon. So the Cocks are now content to run as much of the clock as possible. First, the big fullback. Stanley picks up 20 yards here. He had 72 on the afternoon. And then Brandon Bennett picks up 16 more. 104 for Bennett, the key here in his career. When he has gone over the century mark, Carolina is 10-1. The final nail in the coffin comes from USC's defense. It was a complete victory, both sides and the kicking game. Here, Benji Young, as the ball bounces off Antoine Wyatt's face mask. Young returns it 28 yards. They missed the PAT, the only thing that went wrong for Carolina all afternoon. 33-7. Brad Scott getting the ride of his life and looking for a whole lot more of theirs. A whole lot more of that, I should say. 33-7 is your final. So Carolina gets the winning record. Clemson fails. They fall to 5-6. And a closer look at some of the final stats, you can see just how impressive it was. Look at the total offense. Carolina 412, Clemson 177, more than double in the first downs. But the very key is that time of possession. Once Carolina got that lead, they just kept running it, throwing an occasional pass or two. It would lead to field goals or it led to touchdowns. And what it led to was a big, big win for USC. And a visit to the Carolina locker room afterwards, you'd have thought the Cocks had just won the national championship. Quite understandable, though. The Cocks had just won their 4th road game of the year. That's a school first. It's Carolina's first winning season since 1990, the first time since 68 and 70 that the Cocks have won 2 straight at Clemson.
It's just one of those things we worked from January to get to this point, and it's really helped. I mean, all the hard work, getting up in the morning at 5:30, running, sweating, all 2 days, it's great. I mean, this is what you work for.
It's been a long time for the school, and I think this is a great accomplishment. This is one of the goals that we set for ourselves at the beginning of the season, and we're seeing our hard work actually pay off.
I felt like today we put our best football game, 60 minutes, 4 quarters together out there. There was no question about offense and defense pulling together. We said we're going to be in a hostile environment. You know, we're in the village, and you got to be tough in the village.
I'm not going to make excuses, and I'm not going to say that that the reason it happened was that what we did. I think they had a heck of a lot to do with what we did. So they got the momentum going in the third quarter, and we couldn't take it away from them.
And now, what about the bowl picture? Both the Peach and the CarQuest sending reps to the game. The invites don't officially go out until next week. But if you're a Carolina fan, I'd start making my plans for Fort Lauderdale and Joe Robbie Stadium on January 2nd. Here's the deal. The SEC has 5 bowl invitations. The Sugar, that's going to be either Florida or Alabama. The loser of that one gets to go to the Citrus. Looks like Mississippi State will fill the number 3 slot at the Gator. Now, with the Peach getting the 4th team and the CarQuest gets the 5th. Now, why do I say Carolina's headed to the CarQuest? Well, still in the running for the Peach are Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. And if the Peach has their druthers, they would take either the Vols or the Bulldogs before the Cox. And to be honest with you, Brad Scott wants to recruit Florida. He'd rather go to Fort Lauderdale. Now, this is just me thinking off the top of my head, but I'd bet the house on Carolina going to the CarQuest outcome. Here's the final product.
This college football Saturday night player profile is brought to you by Turnip Seed and Associates, serving the needs of injured victims.
We just, clicked together today, so together we did everything.
Naming a single individual player of the game would not do Carolina justice.
To find one player, it's tough to find one player that stood out that much. But the whole team, I guess, you play the game.
The Gamecocks' motto throughout the season has been "Together we will," and today in Death Valley, together the Cox did.
I haven't been this happy since 2 years ago when we won at this same place. It's been a long, hard season, and this just puts the exclamation point in it, and it makes it a happy ending.
If a decision had to be made, Steve Tannehill would get MVP honors. A noticeably more mature, less flamboyant Tannehill ripped a tough Tiger defense for over 200 yards passing, and his first down runs of 27 and 31 yards took steam out of an already tired Tiger line.
I think the whole team deserves player of the game. Every phase, defense to shut them out to 7 points. Special teams played a big part in the game, and offense, we put some points on our board. So I think you got to give the game ball to the whole team, and it was definitely a team victory today.
Some of the other players that had a major role in this victory, Toby Cates. He had 84 yards receiving and this touchdown.
Like Coach said, once they start putting people up for the pass or whatever, we're gonna run the ball. If they stop, putting everybody up, we're gonna throw the ball. And basically, everybody come out there and did their job. Brandon was a senior and I'm a senior, and we said, we was not gonna let, anything. We're gonna leave everything on the field. And I think, everybody left everything on the field.
Brandon Bennett, he did more than his share, rushing over 100 yards. The Cox are now 10-1 when he goes over the century mark.
And you look at our linemen, and they came through. They really came through and did the things that we needed them to do so that we were able to make big plays. Me, Steve, Stanley, receivers, everything. I think everybody really came through and did, whatever they needed to do to help us win.
Defensively, the Gamecocks ruled Death Valley. They held the Tiger offense that had been somewhat rejuvenated in the past been sweeter for the players.
It's great to beat Clemson. I'll tell you, it makes everything in Columbia and the whole state a lot nicer in the spring and throughout the summer. People will be talking about this game for the next 364 days, and that makes it nice.
I've been here 4 years, and every year it's always been next year's the year, next year's the year. We're finally doing it this year.
It feels great to beat Clemson. I came in with a helmet full of dirt. We put in a coffin. We're going to go back to Columbia and bury that coffin. It's a game I always remember. My last game beating Clemson, couldn't be a better way. Going to a bowl game, feel great.
And the way we won it, is even better. Nobody gave us a chance. We're 3.5-point underdogs up here in Clemson. Had to win this game to qualify for a bowl. And you couldn't ask for a prettier setting, and we just came here and spanked them pretty much.
In Death Valley, I'm Brendan Clark for College Football Saturday Night.
All right, we've got to call a timeout, but don't go anywhere.
Big game today.
Yes, the big
one that
game,
everyone's
big
talking
game.
about.
A lot of anticipation always surrounding Clemson and Carolina. And, I don't think the Gamecock fans were disappointed, but the Clemson fans, they can always say, wait until next year. The big game turned out to be a big surprise as South Carolina had an easy time with Clemson at Death Valley. The Tigers were favored by 3.5 points but wind up 26-point losers. It's a scoreless ball game in the second quarter when things begin to happen for the Gamecocks. Nealon Green's pass is tipped by Henry Guest right into the arms of Corey Bell. A good return by Bell and a personal foul penalty against the Tigers moves the ball inside Clemson's 20. That sets up the game's first TD, an 18-yard strike down the middle from Steve Tannehill to Toby Cates, 7-0 USC. 226 yards passing today for Tannehill. Clemson comes right back. Green to Marcus Hinton for a first down at the Carolina 15. Next play, Raymond Priester takes it in. It's all even at 7. But Carolina answers with an impressive scoring drive. Stanley Pritchett caps it off with a 14-yard run. At the half, USC 14, Clemson 7. The Gamecocks start the second half by pulling off their play of the year, maybe the play of the century for USC. Brandon Bennett takes the kickoff, but laterals to Reggie Richardson. Richardson takes it down the left sideline for a 94-yard return, and he would have scored, but trips over his own man right there, Darryl Nicolo, who was trying to throw a block and help him out. It doesn't matter because on the next play, Bennett will take it to the zone. USC goes up 21-7. Clemson leads the nation in turnover ratio, but they give the ball away 3 times today and take it away only twice. Here they fumble a kickoff. It's recovered by Carolina's Chris Salford. And that sets up Reed Morton's second field goal, a 33-yarder, and it's a 20-point lead, 27-7. Lewis Solomon replaces Green at quarterback, but he's not able to do much because of the Carolina defense. He's sacked by Chris Rump. The Tigers manage only 55 yards passing. With about a minute to go, Benji Young will wrap up the scoring. Solomon's pass bounces off Antoine Wyatt. Young picks it off, and he'll go the distance as South Carolina beats Clemson 33-7.
We knew that if we could get a lead, it would be to our advantage, and then we would find out if we were tough enough and physical enough to run the football, which we needed to do there in the end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and our kids responded to that.
We're as poor as we've been all year, and I give credit to South Carolina for that. We got whipped very soundly in the kicking game today, and when you have as many penalties as we did and you turn the ball over and you get whipped in the kicking game, usually that's what's going to happen.
Today we put it all together. It was definitely a 3-part team effort. And, you know, that's what you need in big games, and that's what we got today.
The defense didn't give up much points and didn't give us much yardage. And offense, you know, we scored and we put things, we moved the ball down the field. And I think we kept our defense fresh, and they went out there and played smash-mouth football and showed them, you know, they were physically tough.
We'll go to work immediately to try to improve our football team and our football program.
It was the happiest moment of my coaching career when the end of this game was over, just for our team, for seeing what these kids believed in.
The Tigers finished 5-6 in Tommy West's first season as head coach, while the Gamecocks improved to 6-5 and will make their first bowl trip in 6 years. USC could wind up in either the CarQuest Bowl in Miami or Atlanta's Peach Bowl. The invitations will be extended next weekend.
And you know what? If you listen real quick, if you listen real quietly, I think you'll hear somebody tapping. I think you'll hear somebody knocking. Now what we got to do is we got to go out there, men, and kick that door down.
Tannehill back to throw. Good protection. Fires over the middle. It's caught by Toby Cates. Touchdown. 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 Touchdown Gamecocks. Brandon Bennett taking the pick. Solomon back to throw. Fires one off the corner. Intercepted over there. And with the football is Benji Young down the sideline. And he's in for a touchdown. And the football game is all over as Carolina has defeated Clemson 33-7.
USC, 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 USC.
This is what it's all about. Last year, this is how we want to go out, baby, beating Clemson. The game we always remember right here.
Tell us a little bit about this. What is this now?
Oh, this is the coffin. All the seniors brought some dirt in. We're going to nail the coffin up and bury it on our practice field.
Right.
First one, baby. We're going to have many more of them. Oh, it felt great. It felt great. We knew what type of team we had. We knew we just had to put it together. Everybody came together, special team, offense, defense, everything was just great.
That's a good job right there because you answered the bell in a hostile environment when nobody believed in you, when all the sports writers said you were going to lose, when everybody in the country except, hey, listen up now, except us, because we know how hard we worked. And look at what hard work does, man. Look, it wasn't even close. Look what hard work does.
So what about that 5-point spread?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think so.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into Gamecock Football with Brad Scott. Pack your bags, we're going bowling. Carolina goes to Death Valley and defeats Clemson 33-7 to give the Gamecocks their first winning season since 1990 and ensures us 365 days of bragging rights. Coach, congratulations. You made us state champs, and nobody or very few people have gone into Death Valley and put so many points on the board. In fact, the most points we've ever scored against Clemson and Death Valley. What do you think the difference was? Why did your team was able to go in there and compete like that?
Well, we just had a really focused ball club. I mean, this was a great win for our football team because it was a family, you know, it was together, and it was offense and defense, kicking game, everybody pulling for one another. We said going into the ball game that we felt like the only way we could lose the game is if we got divided. It's a tough place to play, but if we hung together, everybody pulling for each other, then we could win that ball game. And our kids prepared hard during the week. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that if we played our football game, if we played Carolina football, that we could win that ball game. And I was just so tickled for our team, our Carolina family, our fans, administration, just everybody that was involved. It was a very special win this season for our football team.
Your team played very physical, and I think that was one of the question marks going into the game. Clemson had talked about their defense was physical and had gone over a 3-game winning streak and basically doing that defensively. I thought the key to the game was probably your offense and defensive lines taking control of the line of scrimmage.
They did a very good job, and Clemson's a very good football team. Their defense is outstanding, one of the better defenses that we played against this year, and I don't want to take anything away from that. But I think our kids were just ready to play. I think they just came in there very focused, and defensively we set the tone early in the ball game by not allowing Clemson to run the football against us. And then offensively we went in there, we mixed our run and pass, and then our offensive line just began to get a little more comfortable and got better and better as the game went on. And I thought the key to the game was late in the third quarter and the fourth quarter when it seemed like our offensive line was able to really dominate up front. Those hard running backs we had, Stanley Pritchett, Brandon Bennett, did a great job and took a lot of time off the clock, and we were able to preserve the victory.
Well, it was the largest crowd ever to see a football game in the state of South Carolina. And although a lot of you were there, we thought you might want to see some highlights. We'll do the first half when we return on Gamecock Football with Brad Scott.
Gamecock Football with Brad Scott is brought to you by Carolina Pride, the official hot dog of the Gamecocks, by the Womack Nursery Company, supporting South Carolina football since 1989, by Freedman's Jewelers, and by Nations Bank.
Welcome back in, everybody. And now let's go to our first half highlights. And as always, they're brought to us by our friends from the Womack Nursery. And 85,000 plus came to Death Valley, including, Coach, I got to believe, some of the top recruits in the country to watch the Gamecocks take on the Tigers on a beautiful day for football.
Oh, it was a tremendous day. I mean, the sun was out. It was a fast track. The field was in great shape. Watch our defense take charge from the beginning. There's our middle linebacker right there, Hank Campbell. I told Hank at the first of the week, I said, Hank, I've been thinking about you all week, buddy. I said, I believe this is going to be your best game of your career. And it really was yesterday. But our defense just set the tone from the very start. Here was their first third down. And look at David Turnip. See, he'd come through there unblocked, and we had a little pressure off the corner there with Terry Cousins on the blitz. It really made a statement, I thought, for this ball game from the start. We come right out there. We got a little screen pass over to Brandon. Watch the nice blocking out in front right there by the offensive line. Brandon, didn't he run good yesterday? I mean, he put it all together in both as a receiver and a rusher. As we set it up, Steve fakes one way, and watch, you'll see Vincent Dinkins and Big Delvin Herring out there in front leading the way, getting a couple key blocks. Brandon makes a nice move right there. And they had such a good pass rush going there early, we felt like we had to slow them down a little bit with their screens.
Steve comes back, and Coach, this was one of the many times he was able to slip outside and break containment.
Well, he used the pocket, I thought, very well. A big play to Mike Reddick down the middle. We got Mike matched up with the linebacker there. We had our 4 wide receivers in. And, you know, they had a tendency sometimes to take an inside charge, which makes it tough for offensive linemen, and you get pressure on the quarterback that way. We told Steve just sit in the pocket and readjust to the outside if that happens, and some good things did happen for us there because of it.
We moved to the second quarter action. No score in the first quarter.
Right, and they come out now trying to throw the football a little bit, and there's the old tip drill, something we work every day. Bobby John's our secondary coach. That's a drill that they work on every day just for something like that. I'm also proud for Corey Bell to come up with an interception. You know, he's really fought through some tough times for us out there, but he's a good player for us. He was right on target there.
makes a catch and makes him miss a tackle or two, steps up the sideline. Wally Burnham and his staff, I thought, just had an excellent day. Our defensive coaches, Bob Stinchcomb, Brad Loewen, Bobby Johns, they all just really had a great game plan for us, and I thought were a key to the ball game, especially early. We come back here now, and Steve finds Toby Cates right down the middle. What a pretty throw. We've seen that one before this year. And, you know, Toby's got a great knack for filling that inside, we call it a little vertical route, and he gets mashed up a lot of times one-on-one with the linebacker and gives him a little head move to the outside and then bends that thing back over the middle. Steve's doing a good job with his eyes, looking the route off. Finds Toby with just a step right there. A big play, got us on the scoreboard early. I thought it was very important that we could get us a touchdown early in this first half so that we could maybe quieten that crowd down just a little bit.
Gamecocks go up 7-0 on the Toby Cates touchdown.
And then they came back, not to be denied. There's one of the big plays we made on that drive. Stacey Evans in the backfield, Mike Washington, but Clemson really showed their character, and they fought back right after we scored. And then we broke a few tackles. They run the power off tackle and tied that thing 7-7. I was getting a little nervous over there. Told our offense, I said, man, this is the time we've got to go out there and answer the bell. And boy, what a great job that they did. Look at Steve there. Feather that ball into Toby Cates. Toby picks up a big 30-yard run. I thought a lot of the keys in the game, this was one of the biggest keys, was the fact that after Clemson had gone down and scored and got the momentum back on their side, that our offense in just over 3 minutes was able to take the ball back down and regain the lead going into halftime. Nice play by Steve and Toby right there. And then we come back with the touchdown. You saw this last week against Florida. Our old hard-running fullback here, Stanley Pritchett. I tell you, Stanley, he smells that end zone now. He's going to get in that thing. He is our leading touchdown maker this year in the running game. But I want you to watch a fine blocking by the offensive line. Vincent Dinkins in there at center. But watch our split guard and split tackle there. Open that crease up on the backside. Stanley's able to power through it, and he's not going to be denied. This was a key going into halftime, 14-7.
Lots of highlights in the first half. The Gamecocks up 14-7. But as we all know, we had a bunch of highlights in the second half, including an outstanding second half kickoff return. And we'll be back to talk about that when we return on Gamecock Football with Brad Scott. Welcome back in, everybody. And Coach, before we get to second half highlights, I've got to ask you about the play of the year, if not maybe in college football, and that was the lateral throwback that you opened up the second half with. Tell us when you started working on that. When did you decide to run it?
Well, that's something that we put in during our open week, and we knew we had 2 big ball games left. We had Florida, and we had, of course, the Clemson game. And unfortunately, in the Florida game, we never got in a position to be able to use it. But it was something that I knew that we'd probably use. So I went in there at halftime and said, "Men, the stage is set. It's a close ball game. We're going to receive the ball." We'd practiced it a lot and said, "Oh, Brandon, now you take that thing right up in there." And I said, "You really suck them up. And Reggie, you just act like you're not even interested in even being out there on that field." I said, "Don't you give it away." And we had that wall coming around there, and Monty Means said, "Monty, you know, there's one guy that can make the play. You're ready for that. We've worked it all week. Daryl Nicola, if you can block the doggone kicker, we'll score." And they got excited about it, and we had to call it. And it turned out to be a big play in the game. I was happy for our football team, for our crowd and our fans, because, you know, that's Carolina football. This staff here, we're going to take some chances, but we're going to try to be exciting. We're going to try to take advantage of every opportunity we can to give our kids a chance to win, and that's what it did.
A little doubt it put them in position to win. Let's go and find out now how the Gamecocks executed it. Let's go to the second half kickoff.
It couldn't have been a better kick for us because we wanted the ball, you know, over to our right side, and he kicked it deep just like that. It pulled the coverage in pretty far. Brandon ran, look at that front wall. He pulled it right up there, and there's old Reggie Richardson from Florence. Made a great play, and you'll see him run down this sideline there, and there'll be Daryl Nicola out in front right there blocking the kicker. Unfortunately, as he tried to cut back, he got tripped up there by Daryl's legs, Reggie did, but he carried it about 94 yards all the way down to the 6-yard line. And you talk about a momentum swing. Now watch the big block right here that's coming up, the one I was telling you about. Monty Means, they had their outside guy that we felt like had a chance right there. Look at Monty make that block. I think I see Kurt Frederick, Tom Pritchard right there, Calvin Owens leading the pack. I think our players and coaches were helping Reggie down that field right there. Old Reggie's being from Florence. I know Eddie Floyd, Mark Bike, some of our board members from over there are pretty happy about that. And then this is a way to top it off. We run the toss sweep. And I tell you, old Brandon, I think he went in there almost untouched. That's the way you draw the toss sweep up. Excellent blocking right there. Brandon, I was so happy for him his senior year, last time to get to play there. Watch Dinkins on the reach block right here. Keep your eye right here on Big Delvin Herring coming around the corner, knocking out their strong safety. Both them 2 boys are from Jacksonville. and we're rival schools. Delvin blocking on their Dinkins, their strong safety. Made the touchdown, 21-7. We all felt a little bit better.
Brandon had 104 yards on the day, and the 11th time that he's gone over 100 yards, and the Gamecocks have won every time.
Well, and this was one of two great punt returns that Toby Cates had. Unfortunately, we got them both called back. For a look right there, you see a little blocking in the back, but Toby took that thing all the way down the field, and we had a good day with our special teams. Bob Stinchcom's heads up our special teams. Our kids have worked hard. They've taken a lot of pride in that down the stretch. Very unfortunate there. I think that happened to us twice, but that's part of the game. We're going to have to do a better job than that and not being coming up with those violations. Now Steve gets back outside the contain right here, and I think he tucks that ball down and runs that rascal for about 30 yards or so down the field. And Steve is really, getting more and more poised back there in the pocket. Look at him. You don't think he's hurt now. Watch your rush come inside. When you do that, it's a little dangerous when you're losing contain outside. And they were very effective early in the game in getting some pressure on our quarterback by those inside moves. And we just had to tell Steve, you're just going to have to move to the pocket to the outside to throw the ball. They played a little man under coverage there, and he was able to make a big play out of it. Now we come back and we fake the screen over to Brandon. That was successful early, and then we throw it back over to Stanley Pritchett. So Stanley's a hard running back there, and you'll see Steve pump Brandon, come right back over here to our fullback, and watch old Delvin Herring. Delvin really had a big game for us. He pulled back out there and made a key block. There's Vincent Dinkins downfield, and Stanley laying it on the line for the Gamecocks. Set up this first of two field goals for Reed Morton. I'm really proud of the way Reed is kicking the ball for us here late in the year. And those were important points for us because every time we added three, it just kept building that lead just a little bit more, and we began to feel better about it with every point that we could put up on the board.
That was a 13-play drive, 73 yards, and you took 5 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock. That was important, too.
Oh, it was very important. We come back, and all we decided to do here was we were going to pooch kick it and try not to give, let Clemson on a return, or maybe they had something special for us. And you'll see their young man catch the football. He's stripped right there of the ball. And Chris Alford from McBee, South Carolina, picks that thing up. I was happy for Chris. He's another one of our players who worked so hard on the special teams. And good things were happening right now for the Gamecocks. This set up and led to Reed Morton's second field goal of the day, a 33-yarder. And, with that kick, Reed has finished the year here now since the Vanderbilt game, 8 for 8 on his field goals, which is really very impressive.
Gamecocks go up 27-7 at this point.
Oh, and big play here. Watch Chris Rump, Stacey Evans. I tell you, what a combo, what a tandem these two seniors have been this year. We're really going to miss those guys. And they just flat had a great game right there. And reminds me there from Lawrence, South Carolina, is where Big Stacy's from. And we got some friends over in Lawrence, South Carolina. Mark Hall is one of the most dedicated Gamecocks. He's not able to get out of his bed and go to many games, but he watches them all. And I was overseeing him 2 weeks ago. And, boy, he's got everybody's pictures up there, including yours and Coach Morrison's. He's got Coach Carlin's up there, and he said, Coach, I want a picture, but I don't know if I'm going to put it up yet. I'll wait to see how you do against Clemson to decide. So, Mac, we won that game. You better put that picture up, buddy.
He'll take a blown-up one, I'm sure.
Oh, look at Stanley again, up the middle. Now, this was important to our football team here down the stretch, is that we were able to control a little bit of the clock through the running game. And this was going to be a real key to us. And I said, oh, well, it's in your hands right now. Let's see how we're going to do. Look at the great tall sweep here, and Brandon, I think this was a play that he went over 100 yards for the day, which I was very happy for him to be able to, his last regular season home game, and he was able to get 100. This is where you draw the sweep play up. You got to have a tight end block. Boomer Foster makes that. You got to have a guard come out and kick out in the end. Look at Delvin Herring, and then the big fullback block. If you get those three blocks, you can run this play in college football. And Brandon did that. I saw his mom after the game. She was happier than me and Brandon both. I'll tell you, it was just a good day for him. Now they've got the ball, and they're trying to make something happen right here, and good things are happening for the Gamecocks right now. Benji Young is able to intercept that pass, go in for the touchdown. Benji's from Rock Hill, Northwestern High School. Moose Wallace was his high school coach, and Benji just 27-yard TD put us, kind of put that game out of reach right there, and was able to go ahead there, I think, with the 33-7. And we tell our players, you just never know. Be in the right position. Keep focused on what your assignments are, what you're supposed to do, and good things could happen for you. So it was a good day for them. Look at our players. There's a lot of happiness right there. I tell you, there was more fans than was players out there on that field before that thing was over, I think. But I'll tell you, that was a special moment. Our players and our coaching staff do such a good job preparing for this ball game. It made all the difference in the world.
That's the final score, and we want to thank the Womack Nursery Company, as always, for our highlights. The Gamecocks go on to win 33-7. We've got our features and more when we return in just a moment. Welcome back in, everybody. Now let's go to our Womack Nursery's Play of the Day, and there's little doubt about this one. Here's Tommy Suggs to bring us the second half kickoff.
Let's see what happens here. Ball on the 35-yard line. There's a kick, high end over end. Brandon Bennett's got it about 1 yard deep in the end zone. He starts up at the 10. Now he throws the pass all the way over to Reggie Richardson, and he is gone. He is gone. He's 35, 30, 25, 20. He is all the way. Oh! And he finally tripped up on the 7-yard line.
Bob Fulton was honored at halftime, and Tommy makes the call. Coach, it was one of the most exciting plays probably in the Clemson-Carolina rivalry.
Well, I was just happy that it worked, and I'll tell you, it was good for our kids, and they'd worked hard preparing for it. You could just feel that excitement in the locker room at halftime, as we talked about opening up the game with it in the second half, and it was just a big momentum shift in the ball game there. I was happy for Reggie. He's done a great job for us this year, and that was a big play.
Now our Turnip Seed & Associates turning point of the game. And Corey Bell, one of the players who struggled a little bit, comes up with a big play for you.
Well, it really was. I think this led to one of our first touchdowns, and, got to set the momentum there. And, boy, Corey did a nice job. He was where he was supposed to be. And good things, that began to happen for the for the Carolina football team in that game against Clemson.
All right, let's go to our commercials now. We'll be back with our portrait player and talk a little bit about what's in the future for the Gamecocks. Welcome back in, everybody. Our Columbia Farms portrait player for the game against Florida was Boomer Foster. He got his first touchdown of the year against the Florida Gators, and always, he's our academic All-American, an outstanding player for us. Boomer Foster, congratulations. Coach, what about the bowl picture now?
Well, I don't know. I just know we put ourselves in position to go bowling, and I think next Saturday they'll make some announcements. I'll be as anxious as our fans will be, but we'll find something out next Saturday.
Don't worry, folks. We'll keep you up to date on all of that. Thanks for joining us on Gamecock Football with Brad Scott. We'll see you later.